Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
On you. It's on you.
Listen,
It's on
we're wide
you.
open. We're wide open. I don't know what y'all doing today, but
And y'all look good.
it's 9 a.m. Central
smell
Standard
good.
Time. It's 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the evening for somebody. It is the afternoon for somebody.
Come
It
on
is
now.
the nighttime for somebody.
Go to bed.
I'll tell you who I know it's nighttime for. It's not time. It's nighttime for Daphne.
Come on, Daphne.
It's nighttime for Daphne. I think she's in Malaysia.
She's in Malaysia.
Or she's in the Philippines.
No, she's in Malaysia.
She's in Malaysia. Yeah.
faithfully at this stream.
Faithfully, like in the middle of the night.
And we love you.
She is on here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 128 people already in the chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am so grateful that you are here. Welcome to Wide Open. We're going to be strapped in with you for the next 3 hours. There's nothing you can do about it. Whether you are going to lock in with us for the whole 3 hours, or whether you're going to be popping in and out, or whether you're going to be listening to the stream later on and catching it, or now that the podcasts have started dropping, the podcasts are now available on Spotify and on iTunes.
Yes, sir.
Were you about to say something?
Absolutely. We got more websites we're on too. MySpace, AOL.com, Instant Messenger, Bing, Hotmail, MSN, and we're killing it, bro. So I just want to say, the Lord's on this thing is what I'm saying.
In the 90s, for sure. He is on it.
Early 2000s.
Early
He's like,
2000s.
Palm Pilot, get on your sidekick. You remember the sidekicks?
Hey, the Sidekick. If the Sidekick was still out now,
I'd call it.
I wouldn't have an iPhone.
That was like my first version of having a smartphone because you could access the web.
Yeah.
Like you could, like
Bro,
it was hip hop. The sidekick was hip hop.
It really was, bro. I was so familiar with that QWERTY keyboard that I didn't have to look down, and I could type perfectly with punctuations.
Incredible.
Caps, no caps, the
Yeah.
whole nine, and look down, and it would be like I was looking. I could literally do like that and type my messages. That was my favorite device of all time.
I went to that.
I'm dating myself by saying that, but
Same. I went to that specific carrier just to have the sidekick because
T-Mobile.
it was like T-Mobile.
It was T-Mobile.
That's all it was.
I was T-Mobile until they got rid of when they phased out the Sidekick, they lost a customer.
Straight up. Two-way pagers and sidekicks were hip hop.
It was
Straight up.
like if you didn't have Motorola two-way pager or a Sidekick, what were you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so but yeah, I do want to let everybody know. I'm pretty sure everybody that listens to Wide Open regularly knows this, but we got to make sure because when I got on Instagram, there was a lot of when I did the IG live last night. There was so many people that were like, "The Basement hasn't been updated in a while. The Basement podcast, I haven't seen a new episode come through." So I had to repeat over and over again within 20 minutes, like Upset the World Studios.
Yeah.
Is now where the
Everything
Basement
is.
and Wide Open is on Spotify and on iTunes.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Right? Like
Yes,
so you know, it'll take a little while for the migration, but
And shout out to the audio listeners. I was checking it out last night and told you guys to check it out. It really is a different experience because I'm listening and you're doing roll call and I can clearly tell, oh, he's naming off all the cities people are typing, this and that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I feel kind of left out. I want to watch the stream. But then there's times where I'm like, oh, I love listening to audio because first off, you got a great radio voice,
You
bro.
really do, dog.
Like,
Oh, wow,
I
thanks.
ain't even, bro. I'm like, this dude, it just seems timeless.
Yeah,
You're very good at what you do. I enjoyed it as a listener last night, not
Thank you.
as a producer,
Yeah,
not
for
as your
sure.
friend. I'm like, oh, this is a good show.
got you. Thanks, bro. I appreciate the encouragement. I think I'll keep doing it. Glad I got out of bed. I'm so glad I got out of the bed this morning. Super glad.
Yeah. I didn't realize the difference. I really didn't realize the difference.
Did you listen to it?
I was encouraged by Hector after that.
Yeah.
So I went to a couple of spots.
Yep.
And the video experience, obviously a majority of our community is watching the video.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't realize was that, to Hector's point, listening to just the audio portion, it's a whole new experience, and it helped me like just see it, like how you talk about when you're seeing things. in your mind.
for sure.
And so, yeah, I came this morning. I uploaded yesterday's because I was tardy to the party yesterday on yesterday's episode. So
Tardy to the party is hilarious.
You got you audiophiles out there. You have my commitment to honor y'all and Upset the World Studios for both platforms.
Yep.
And yeah, let's get it.
Hey, shout out to Faith in the Discord. Tim FM is hilarious.
Tim FM is great.
Tim FM, Timmy on the radio. That's really cool. That's really cool. Shout out to 510 people in the chat. The 510 people in the chat. Listen, all 510 of y'all already go ahead and smash that like button. We'll be halfway to 1,000 by the time the rest of the people get in here. I appreciate y'all being on time. It's George version 2.5. My first experience of The Basement was on Spotify 2 years ago. I appreciate y'all.
Like that thing there, man.
Yeah. Anyway, what's up, fam? I apologize if I offended anyone with my comments yesterday. Y'all keep praying for me. Hey, man, you safe here, man. Remember, fully seen, fully heard, fully known, fully loved, even if you're not fully agreed with. So
we can hold tension, okay?
We can hold tension, man.
We're good.
Listen, man, everybody's in progress. I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully everybody else kind of grows into that. Obviously, at a different level of spiritual maturity. Some people can't handle things or people. You just got to grow, man. The longer you get in this, the more. I mean, you remember the Holy Spirit has come on the inside of you to produce fruit.
Come on,
that's and
it's to produce His fruit. It ain't to produce your fruit. It ain't to produce your life. It ain't to produce your will. It's not to produce your way. It's to make you look like somebody else.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta die.
Yeah, like
you're saying we don't have a point to prove because He's changing us.
He's changing us into Jesus.
Boom.
Like we're supposed to take on the personhood and the characteristics of Jesus, and like in places where it counts. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of the tensions that I've been holding with faith communities since I started The Basement and now doing what Wide Open. Is these people over here, oh my God, I can't believe Tim said this. I can't believe Tim said that. I can't believe Tim talks like this. And it's like, do you see the fruit where it really counts?
Yeah.
Because if you think a couple of words is the difference between an anchor in Jesus and not an anchor in Jesus, I would call your bluff on that. I would also say you don't have a passport and you haven't traveled anywhere, because everybody don't talk like Americans.
Exposure.
All believers don't talk like believers in the U.S. Yeah. Everybody don't sound like the West.
Right.
Sit down with some Messianic Jewish believers. Sit down with some some believers in Singapore. Sit down with some believers in Malaysia. Sit down with some believers in different countries on the continent of Africa, because Africa ain't a country. It's a continent.
It's a continent.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So sit down with some of these people, talk to them for an hour, and then see if your Western mindset or your bubble denomination can hold up against the faith of 2 billion people that call Yeshua Lord. Everybody ain't thinking like you. Everybody ain't acting like you. And if you can't hold that tension, you ain't gonna have no brothers and sisters in Christ. I can get off the plane. The body of Christ is the largest fraternity and sorority in the entire world. I can get off a plane in anywhere in America and have a brother and sister in Christ.
Right.
Some of these real religious people, some of these real legalistic people, they don't have a brother and sister as soon as they walk out their church. They don't have a brother and sister in Christ across the street. We don't go to that church. We don't fool with them. They don't know the real way. Our church knows the real way.
Yeah.
So you only got brothers and sisters in Christ in your church? That's a boring life, fam.
Very boring.
Whoa.
That's real boring. All I'm saying is I'm not gonna be you. I'm just not gonna do it. Jaleesa, go touch some grass. I'm with you. JQ Sonny, Tim, why are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling at you, bro. I love you. I'm not yelling at you. I promise you I'm not yelling at you. Roll call. It's 9:09 a.m. Y'all get out that bed. It's roll call. Where you from? Malaysia in the house. Daphne, we already know you in the house. Let's get it. Nah, you didn't miss roll call. Row H, we on right now. Clay Center, Kansas City. Tim done told us off week. Roll call. Orlando, Florida. Let's go. Elko, Nevada. You know Nevada means snow in Spanish? Nevada. Yeah. Oh, y'all going too fast now. Muskogee, Oklahoma. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Woo. Westlake, Texas. Okay, Westlake. We not mad.
Roll
Hazlet,
call.
Texas. Inglewood. Hey, Amber. I'll be in Inglewood this weekend. What's popping?
Hey.
Queensland. Oh, Brisbane. Amox. Sarah. Yeah, you already know. Brizzy is my favorite. My favorite. Anaheim, California. Out south. Chicago. Cibolo, Texas. Detroit, Flower Buff, Hong Kong. Hey, what's up, Hong Kong?
Oh, whoa.
Atlanta,
Come on
Michigan,
now.
New York, Caraco. Wow. Chicago. Kansas City, Missouri. Bakersfield, Daphne from the Boot. What's up?
Shout out 619 members.
Malaysia, it's 11 p.m. there. Let's go. College Station, stand up. Maine.
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 What up, Maine?
What up, Maine? We love you, Maine. Ventura, Cali. What's up, all my Californians? Let's go.
Cali.
Oakland, California. Muleshoe, Texas. Fayetteville, Georgia. Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago. What's up, Shamika? We love you too. Hampton, Virginia. Phoenix, Arizona. Boston, Massachusetts. Waco, Texas. Humboldt, Texas. Alaska. Culpeper, Virginia. Palm Springs, California. Buffalo. Roll Tide, Alabama. We know. France. Maureen, thank you for coming through. OP, Texas. I don't know if that's OP or OP. Is that where the ops are?
Oh.
Janice in Inglewood, Iowa. We love you. Playa de Carmen, Mexico. Vale. Let's go. Lakeshore Drive. Calgary, Canada. Bournemouth, UK. Bahamas. Provo, Utah. Let's go. I've been to Provo.
Provolone.
Columbia, South Carolina. Fort Mill, South Carolina. Tempe, Arizona. Charlotte, North Carolina. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Quebec, Canada. Yeah, DeSoto, Texas. What's poppin'?
Down the street.
Just sold out.
Julia and Marcia created the command center to watch Wide Open together in DeSoto, Texas. Okay.
Really?
Oh.
I have no context to that, but thank you. Guyana, let's go, Guyana. Bloomington, Minnesota. Vacaville, California. Let's go. Grayson, Georgia. Edinburgh, Texas. Prairie View, Texas. Woo. Pineville, Louisiana. Raleigh, North Carolina. Rochester, New York. Toronto, Canada in the house. Trinidad and Tobago in the building. Woo.
Go ahead, Timmy.
Detroit, Michigan. Gilbert, Arizona. Woo. Las Vegas. Roanoke, Virginia. H-Town. Woo. Hobbs, New Mexico. Where in Inglewood? I'm gonna be at First Church of God. First Church of God, Jeremy Dixon, Pastor Jeremy Dixon. I'm gonna be at their church on Sunday. This Sunday, I fly in Saturday. I'm gonna be there Sunday. I think they got 2 services. I'm gonna be there for both services. Y'all pull up. Anybody in Cali, around Inglewood, your boy Timmy's coming through. Y'all pull up. Bullhead City, Arizona. Never been there. Grenada, Panama, South Africa. Round Rock, Texas. Woo! Yeah. Columbia, South Carolina. Medellin, vale. Buenas tardes. Bradenton, Florida. Roanoke, Texas. I didn't miss Liverpool. What's poppin'?
What?
Wes calling from his truck. Let's go. Jamaica. Fernley, Nevada. Where the Boricuas at? Palm Beach, Florida. Greeley, Colorado. Edinburgh, Texas. Denton, Texas. What's poppin', Susie? Bear Down, Arizona. When in Inglewood this weekend, Misha? I'm gonna be in Inglewood this weekend. This Sunday, I'm gonna be at First Church of God Church. Pastor Jeremy Dixon. Spell Jeremy with a G. Jeremy Dixon with a G. Pull it up. I'll be there this Sunday. Let's get it cracking. Fort Myers, Florida. Indianapolis, Indiana. Pull that back up. Hit that track again. Seattle, Washington. Bradenton, Wyoming. Worcester, Pennsylvania. Montreal, Canada. Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. Brahms Grove, UK. Whew. Grenada. Sacramento, California. Phoenix, Arizona. Good morning, y'all. Perrysburg, Ohio. St. Louis. Yeah, PA. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Wilmington, Delaware. Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania.
Shout out.
DTLA. Everybody remember to like that thing. That's right. Yeah, make sure you like so the algorithm spins the block. Queens, New York repping.
Shout out.
This track is giving Rugrats. Hull, England. Houston. Alicia Jones in the warehouse at work. Hey, blessed to have a job. So grateful. Roll call's over, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm saying like, yee. 9:15 in the morning. Crack of dawning. Ain't nobody yawning.
Amen.
We are Johnny.
Johnny.
That's for my Philly peeps.
Philly.
Walking in them streets, I said.
In the street.
Woo. Safety in his name, in his arms, claim to fame. Jesus Christ, it's real nice. Said it twice. Jesus Christ, it's real nice. Said it twice. Said it thrice. I said, what we doing today? Hey, 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 hey. What are we doing today? Hey, 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 hey. What are we doing today? I'm just gonna open my mouth and say, we wide open, hey. We wide open, hey, hey, hey. Okay, so let me get into some news real quick. Hey, I want to comfort my Dallasites right now. I love you guys. I really believe that God's gonna do something with your organization, the Dallas Mavericks. I really believe God's gonna bless you in a significant way. But last night, dude,
You were blessed.
Dallas came to visit us in Los Angeles. What had happened was, it was the first time Luka has seen his team since they sent him packing, and they came to pay him a little visit.
Amen.
And it's not like Luka popped off for 45 or nothing, but man, just to get that win, to hold Dallas under 100 points, triple digits, it was good to see. I took a L on my bedtime because I needed to watch that whole game. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes I'm the Lakers' good luck charm. If I'm not watching, they don't do well. So it was good to see them get that win. Granted, AD wasn't playing. He's still out. We wish him a full recovery and expeditious recovery, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it was good to see Luka get that win. I was like super excited about it. And you know, the real game is when he comes back to Dallas. That's the real game. And you know, I know we got the better end of this bargain.
He hit those threes in the beginning. Was mad dogging the
Hey,
bench
those
right
are his
away.
homies. Those are his homies, man. He dapped them out all at the end. What was interesting to me was when I think they missed a shot. We got the rebound with 23.5 seconds left. So that's the whole shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron walked straight off the court and dapped up his teammates and went straight to the back. Because that was a late game for me. By the time he got to bed, bro probably had to get in the bed. I mean, he pays $1 million for his body, so he probably went straight home.
Yeah, it's 9:30. He's like, I'm going.
You know what I'm saying? Grabbed a bottle of wine, kissed his wife, and got in the bed. It was a great game though. I watched it from beginning to end, and again, it was good to see Luka get that dub. Hey, let me say this though. Luka did have a triple double though. Like
Assists were crazy.
He was balling out of control. But the Nike ad.
Yo.
The Nike ad with him changing plates.
Incredible.
With the song All My Exes Live in Texas. Branding is par excellent, right? Like whoever's in the marketing department is getting dubs for that. So So anyway, that's how I wanted to open up. I just needed
Kyrie
to.
was balling, man. He
Kyrie-
got 30.
Oh, Kyrie is a baller.
He was balling, man.
Kyrie left some chips on the table by leaving Cleveland to go to Boston and then bounce to Brooklyn and then bounce to Dallas. It's just a bad look, man. But in other entertainment news, as of February 26, 2025, English singer-songwriter Adele has been involved in several notable events. Her Las Vegas residency is coming to a conclusion. And that's going to make a lot of Adele fans sad. But nothing lasts forever, folks. Adele concluded her Weekends with Adele residency at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas on November 23rd, 2024. The residency, which began in November 2022, spanned over 2 years and included multiple extensions due to high demand. Each performance reportedly grossed approximately $1.75 million, contributing to her estimated fortune of 170 million pounds. Get this, folks, because it's a lot more in US. $213.4 million in 2024 alone. Hey, hell, that's a lot of piano playing.
That's a lot of piano playing.
I just want to let you know, when you hit those keys and sing hello, 1.75 is being transferred to the account. That's just amazing.
Hello.
She's been engaged to Rich Paul. In 2024, Adele announced her engagement to sports agent Rich Paul. She showcased a massive pearl-shaped engagement ring during her Las Vegas residency performance, confirming the news. The couple, who have been together since 2021, have been living together in a $58 million mansion in Beverly Hills. I hope they love that.
Praise God.
Hope that $58 million is making them feel a little cozy. In Beverly Hills.
I'd like to be there.
I wouldn't.
In the middle.
You know what I mean? But that's on them. There's a plagiarism lawsuit in Brazil. Adele's song Million Years Ago from a 2015 album, 25, has been banned nationwide in Brazil. Hell, that's a lot of people not listening to Adele. In Portuguese. Because I believe Trevor laughs like that. No one in Brazil is allowed to listen to her because of this plagiarism lawsuit. Brazilian judge Victor Torres ordered the song's removal from streaming services and global platforms with a fine of $8,000 for any non-compliance. Wow, can you imagine?
She could pay that.
Can you imagine a judge just going, you can't sing that song anymore and you can't play it either? The lawsuit filed by composer Donijo Carreas claims the song plagiarizes who is this guy? Martino da Vila's samba classic Mulheres. Well, what can we say about that?
Samba classic.
It sounds like a classic. I mean, and maybe Adele was inspired by it, but hell, who knows? Plagiarism among music is just, I mean, it could be like one or two chords sound the same. All of a sudden, you got to get the hell out of here.
Shut up.
Hey, I'm done with Adele. Oh, that's not even Adele. I'm done with Adele. Go to the next one.
Shut up, plagiarism.
Alrighty then. Oh yeah. I got to go back to my regular voice for this because this is the homie right here. Hey, comedian Josh Johnson has recently gained, and it ain't been recent. Bro's been doing this for over a year now. So this ain't, I mean, if you want to call a year recent, but if y'all ain't been up on Josh Johnson, this is one of the most brilliant young comedian minds that are out there. Great storyteller. And his commentary on culture is just, I've enjoyed everything I've watched from him. So Josh Johnson has recently gained significant attention for his prolific output of topical stand-up comedy videos. Over the past year, he has consistently released sets ranging from 12 to 45 minutes, addressing, first of all, do you know how hard that is for a comedian to do? Some comedians usually take a year to get 45 minutes to an hour of material. This dude's doing it seemingly in a couple of weeks or sometimes once a month. It's brilliant. Addressing current events and with a unique blend of humor and insight. This approach has resonated with audiences, leading to substantial viewership on platforms like YouTube. I mean, every time he drops, it's a million views.
It's viral. Every time.
Within hours.
Confirmed.
In addition to his stand-up work, Josh has been a writer and correspondent for The Daily Show for 7 years, where he has honed his skills in crafting timely and relevant comedy. His ability to quickly produce material on recent events has set him apart in the comedy scene. Just go look at him. Just go look at him. He's brilliant. Josh is brilliant. He's really good. Shout out to 891 people in the chat. We love you guys.
Now, Tim, when you start uploading some of this comedy content that you've been doing yourself, what's kind of the vibe your heart and mind is leaning toward? Will it be something like this? Because Josh is uploading frequently.
He is.
It seems to be at least once a week or every other week, and it's not a 12-minute set. Most of the time, it's ranging from 30 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that the vibe you're trying to be on, or are you trying to be a little more spaced out? Like I see Ali Sadiq will do it, but it's way more spaced out and it's way less time on the video. What kind of vibe are you leaning toward?
Well, I just think, first of all, I didn't know Wide Open was coming, right? So Wide Open changes the whole landscape of what I do, because this is a daily show and I'm committed to be here daily, right? Until I take a vacation, until we take vacations, right? Like, till we have our days off and stuff like that. But I'm committed to be here daily. I'm committed to doing this work. And I did not think I was going to like this medium, y'all. When the Holy Spirit asked me to do it, I was like, please, no.
I thought we were going to be spent by week 2.
I thought so. I thought it was going to be spent by day 2. You know what I mean? Like a 3-hour daily show, especially with the format that we have. It's like, either there's a grace that God puts on you or you're crazy. Right? Especially when 2 of the 3 hours is holding space for people to just talk. Like, who's doing that? That's 10 hours a week of essential process group therapy. You know what I mean? Community therapy, right? So I'm very committed to this. And so I got some dates that I'm going to be going out with Jamie Kilstein. We announced those last night.
Buy your tickets, folks.
And let's make sure we get some posts up today, just with the graphics and all that kind of stuff and the links. We like, I can't wait to go out on the road and do those sets, and not at the expense of this. You know what I'm saying? So where last year I did those 5 shows and logged 7 hours and 42 minutes, I would have been on that Josh Johnson trajectory. Where every week or every other week it's like, I can, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I can get an hour out of this, right? I can get 4 or 5 stories and get an hour out of it. I'm not going to be able to do that now because of the rhythm of this. So it'll be less output.
Understood.
But this gives me so much information every single day that it won't be hard to build a set. And because I'm a storyteller, you just make the story funny.
Absolutely.
And take people on a journey. So that's what people are into. Shout out to 911 people in the chat. We love you guys. So glad you're here. As of February 26, 2025, several inspiring stories around the world highlight remarkable resilience, determination, and compassion. This story was really inspirational to me. Overcoming personal loss with courage in a recent college baseball game, sophomore outfielder Cade Belyeu of the Auburn Tigers faced unimaginable personal tragedy just hours after his mother Stacy passed away from cancer on February 14th of 2025. She died on Valentine's Day. Cade chose to honor her memory by participating in the baseball game just hours after she passed. Demonstrating exceptional strength, he hit the team's first home run of the season, contributing to a 4-1 victory. His coach and teammates praised his courage, describing his performance as extraordinarily inspiring. Now listen, I know people experience grief in different ways. And I don't believe that there's a wrong way to grieve. You know what I mean? And unless it brings harm to you. Outside of bringing harm to yourself, I don't believe that there's a wrong way to grieve. And I'm inspired by people that can bring their grief to a moment and do something that inspires others to do the same.
Yes.
I remember last year when my dad died, my book had its nationwide release 3 days later. And 5 days after my dad died is when the national tour for the book happened. And I talked with my wife and my children and my mom, and we all concluded, you got to go. You got to go do this tour. You got to go sell this book and sign these books for your people who are supporting you. And I just decided to take my grief with me.
You did.
I could have kept my grief at home. I decided to take my grief with me. And I decided to honor my dad, and I didn't make him proud by going on that tour. I already had his affirmation, so I wasn't doing it like, this would make my dad proud. My dad would be proud of me if I did this. I didn't do this for his love. I didn't do this for his affirmation. I did this because I had his love, and I did this because I had his affirmation.
That's true honor.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to honor him. And if I signed books and cried, I just cried. And if I remember I did a IG Lives in some hotel I was at. I think I was in DC, and I was just eating a bunch of grapes.
Yeah.
And then like within 2 days, everybody was eating grapes.
You do have food influence, by the way.
I think I do. I really do.
From the grilled cheese to the smoothie king.
I agree.
Shout out Pepitas.
To
Hot house tomatoes.
To the hot house tomatoes now.
Bird seeds.
That was hey, I had some bomb last night. I got to talk about it real quick. So there are these cassava flour. There's these cassava flour tortillas, and obviously, obviamente, you just heat them on the
or the
skillet.
Yeah, skillet. Yeah.
Or for 15 seconds each side, right? Get it warm.
Mm-hmm.
Organic almond butter spread out all over that thing, and then this Simply Fruit, Crofton Simply Fruit smashed spread, strawberries, sprinkled hemp seeds on that thing, rolled that bad boy up.
Ooh, that sounds like a good joint. You rolling up a little bit of hemp?
Twist.
How high you getting, brother? What's the THC levels in there for the Lord?
It's
the fruit.
-0.
-0.
It was so good, bro.
Sounds delicious.
That was like, I didn't even know I didn't even know like how good it was. And like I thought about it like, man, this sounds like it would be good. Like, would this be good?
Right.
And then I tried it, and it was amazing. So that might be my little dessert.
That sounds delicious.
Cassava flour tortillas.
It's a cassava flour tortilla, and then you just, heat it for 15 seconds each side.
A little calientada. Right?
Sí. And it's dulce. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not it's not savory. It's sweet but I had some guacamole, and my hot house tomatoes, and there's a brand of chips called, I think it's Last July or Last Harvest, something like this. I think it's Last July. And they have sweet potato like tortilla chips,
Amen.
and they hit so hard.
Well, where can we buy these at, brother?
At Sprouts.
Sprouts, Roger.
They hit so hard, bro. Oh my goodness.
Praise God.
It's just too good. Shout out to 961 in the chat. Not Big Back Snacks.
What was your
Danny B, you already know what I'm talking about. Last July. That's what it's called, right?
Billy Big Back?
Buddy.
Not don't try to take it back, Cat C. Big Back Snacks, but healthy. No. I don't know anybody with a healthy Big Back. Big Back. There go to Siete has the cassava flour tortillas. It wasn't this brand Texas Pebbles, but you could rock with those for sure. Late July is the bomb though. Hey, Purpose. Realistically, I might turn into a raw veggie because of Tim. Listen, there are worse things you could turn into. much worse things you could turn into. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you put up these quotes, but where did you get these from? What inspired you to get these quotes?
So I was inspired last time. Some of these are Marcus Aurelius, some of the Stoic quotes. But I was inspired last time. I remember I sent a screenshot to you with a quote from YouTube, and it was some of these philosophers.
Yeah.
And you were like, man, these are really good.
Yeah.
And this is all Bible.
Yep.
These guys just kind of read it up.
Yeah.
And I was inspired. I'm like, it's AD. It's after death.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I wanted to see your take on reading some of these Stoic practices, because it's really popular now, especially among men. Obviously, there's women who are into it.
Yeah.
But it's really popular for men. Is obviously even in like the red pill community.
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
all about stoicism.
Right.
And not showing feeling. But I'm like, it's pretty good if you could do it properly. I want to hear your take.
Yeah. So Marcus Aurelius, who lived from 121 to 180 AD, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Okay. Oh, and it all it has a little rhyme to it too. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find your strength.
It is a little flow.
Okay. Marcus Aurelius with the bars, though. I hear you with the bars.
Bars.
The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I agree. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Interesante. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Okay. I like. What is Seneca talking about?
Let's go.
What the homie Seneca talking about?
Hey, what up, Seneca?
What's up, Sen? We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. It's true.
Sheesh.
Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Facts. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Did Seneca say that? He who is brave is free. He who is brave is free. Absolutely. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. That's really good. Epictetus. What is Epictetus talking about? Okay. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Okay.
I feel like I've heard you say some things kind of in that vein of being reactive.
I am a philosophical person,
Yes.
so we would be swimming in these waters for sure. No man is free who is not master of himself. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. I like. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. I mean, right? Zeno. Okay. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. Okay. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. All this stuff is around self-control and all this kind of stuff. All stuff that we as believers know comes by being empowered with the Holy Spirit. It's not self-will. The Stoics are, I'm willing myself to be this type of person, right? And we are embodied by the Spirit to do that. Happiness is a good flow of life. Well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing. Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. That's good. I like that a lot.
Ivan, thank you for the 50. Theo Tim, would you be open to live stream the comedy set like a pay-per-view? Because I'd pay as someone who attended your first and third.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, at the Improv, we can't control that, but when I do my own like special, we could look into that.
Absolutely. Louis does a great job of it, doing it on his website. And man, $10. You get to tap in.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went to 2 shows. That's dope.
Huh?
He said he went to 2 shows.
Yeah, he went to the first and the third. That's love right there, bro. That's love right there. 39 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. Shout out to everybody that is rocking with us. We're wide open right now on culture. We just talking about stuff that's going on. I had to shake off the story we did yesterday about
Congo.
Yeah, what happened in the Republic of Congo, man? That thing wore me out. I just hate to see that kind of atrocity, man. Mm-hmm. And when you feel helpless, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm always inspired by the believers that go through that, because there were some Coptic Christians several years ago. It wasn't as many. It wasn't 70. It might have been 20, like 17 to 20 of them. They were taken down to a beach by some radicalists, and they were told, all men, and they were all told, renounce Jesus and we will spare your life. None of them did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, may I have the boldness of the Holy Spirit when my life is on the line to do the same.
Yes.
May I not bring a reproach to my confession of Jesus to spare my own life. To live as Christ and to die as gain.
Man.
May that be my thought if I ever have a knife to my throat. I'll tell you one story. This story was told to me by a missionary. And it was Nade Ra. I want to speak to Tio. I want to speak to Tim on live, but I'm scared. If you can't do it brave, do it scared. Nade Ra. Just call in. And if you get in, don't be worried about it. It's all good. Let me say this too. Let me say this though. When some of y'all call in, it may or may not be to your benefit to go back and look in the chat.
Yeah, just.
I'm gonna say that again. When you call in, you are talking to me.
Yes.
And I'm holding space for you. But there's a lot of people listening to you too. And they're processing through their own filters as they're listening. And they may or may not agree with you. They may or may not have your same point of view. They may have a different point of view than me as I'm walking you through and sitting with you in whatever the thing. Again, we can be fully seen, fully heard, fully known, fully loved, but we may not be fully agreed with. 4 out of 5 ain't bad. With that being said, it may not be good for you depending on the topic. It may not be good for you to go back to when we say, hey, there's a lot of people in the chat that are supporting you. We're not talking about every single person.
That ain't everybody.
We said a lot of people in the chat. We didn't say everybody in the chat, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is a wide open platform.
Right.
And we listen, we let trolls in here, right?
Yeah.
We let people literally come in here and troll and doodle in the chat, and say all type of flagrant stuff. And I got on IG Live last night. Within 3 minutes, there was already 3 or 4 people trolling. I'm not going. It's a public square, man. Yeah, it's a public square, and once you get personal and disrespectful, then that's what we got moderators for. Amen. But everybody ain't gonna agree with you, and they don't have to. But you're not also talking to everybody. And if you're looking for consensus from everybody on anything you're ever going through in life, you're not gonna enjoy life at all.
You're not gonna have fun.
You're just not gonna enjoy life. Everybody's not gonna agree with you. They're just not. And how do I know that? Because you don't agree with yourself 100% of the time. Can I just keep it a buck? You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Who is this? The Haskaway? You don't get stronger training with marshmallows? Hey, man. You don't get stronger training with marshmallows. It's hilarious. That's funny to me right now. So,
Tim, what's that term in therapy when you share and then you start shame spiraling after you share all this trauma about you?
Yeah, it's called it's called a shame hangover.
Shame hangover. There
Yeah. So when you within a community, when you share and you're vulnerable, we refer to it as a shame hangover because after you're vulnerable, sometimes within seconds, minutes, or hours later, you're like, I said too much.
I said too much.
I overshared. I shouldn't have said all that. What was I thinking? Why did I do that? Blah, 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 blah. In the moment, your body is getting this release, which is very, very necessary. But afterwards, your body, I'm not saying this is all the enemy. Your body will literally just like, you need to eat something really good after you've been on a call with me. You need to drink a lot of water. You got to take care of your body.
Yes.
You need to get some sleep after that, because that night or the next day, you can feel like, oh, I got hit by a truck. Well, it's very, very emotional to like step into feelings that society has an opportunity for you to numb on every shelf, has an opportunity to distract you from with every swipe, right? So the people that rock with us are people committed to doing their work on literally a daily basis.
Right.
Absolutely.
We open up the phone. Ain't nobody calling in to discuss the Lakers game with me. I'm wide open to that.
We're opening culture in the first hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even on the wide open conversations,
Yeah.
I don't say come in and I don't say call in with your deepest, darkest secrets.
Right.
It's wide open on conversations. We can literally talk about anything. Literally, it could be sports. Literally, it could be finances. I mean, we've had people talk about we've had people kind of cover the gamut. But why does everything kind of come back to trauma and relationships, right? If we say, hey, what are the main things people call in for? It's around trauma and it's around relationships. Why? Everybody wants to get over their trauma. Number one. Number two, everybody's trying to figure out a relationship. Everybody's either in a relationship, just got out of a relationship, or is trying to prepare to get back into a relationship. Or trying to figure out, add a fourth one, or trying to figure out how to live without one. So, I mean, we're trying to just help people get through life.
Yes.
So I just thought that should be said, because sometimes people will go back and read through the comments and feel like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I'm just telling you, you are not guaranteed agreement. Bottom line. Shout out to 1,000 people in the chat.
Let's go.
Seen, heard, known, loved, even if you're not fully agreed with.
Yeah. Ruben, thank you. Thanks for saying that, Tim, because I've been wanting to call in about nothing too deep. And I'm telling you right now, we're wide open on conversation. It does not have to be deep.
Yeah.
It's just that the way that we've lived our life has empowered people to say, if they can do it, I can too. If they're doing their work, I can do my work too.
Yes.
And I can't go to therapy. And so I want to, this is my first step into being vulnerable. This is my first step into being honest, open, and transparent.
Right.
And I welcome that all day.
A lot of people in the community too, their first time to hold containment and hold space for people. So the moderators do a good job. Shout out to the mod squad. They do a good job of letting the people know, like, hey, just be mindful and be sensitive when you're sharing your opinion when someone is sharing so vulnerably.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we want to hold tension and hold space, because we want to be safe.
That's right.
Places for people to
Absolutely.
create safe spaces. So just a reminder to the community, and also, like, we're not always going to get it right, like the people in the community in terms of the dwellers and the way that they respond, because some people are going through divorces, some people are dealing with traumas, some people are dealing with their little person.
A lot of times when we're on a call, it's triggering
Yes.
50 other people on the call.
Yeah.
And if they haven't done any significant amount of work and don't have the emotional intelligence, they're gonna respond, and their response might be a reaction to what triggered them.
Yeah.
And we got to be safe enough to hold space for all of that.
Absolutely.
So when we say it's a safe space, it's not just for people to share their story. It's for people to react to it as well.
Yeah.
It's got to be safe enough for everybody.
Tim, you've been in this wide open thing now for, what is it, 3 weeks or 4 weeks?
This is week 5.
It's week 5?
This is
week
not
5.
This is not week 5.
So we're in episode 18. And we did Blitz Week. We did 5 episodes too.
That I don't
So
count.
this-
I don't count Blitz Week.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, this
So-
is 3 week.
My question.
This is our
moving
third
for-
week.
You're
This is our third
Oh
week.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
It's our third week of Wide Open. This is our third week of Wide Open.
So now that you've been into this week 3, does any of this resemble what you did back in the day, whether it was doing Brick House or doing
there's-
NRH? I would like to hear.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Here we go.
I haven't heard a scenario yet that I haven't already dealt with.
Oh, I'm talking about the format. I'm sorry. Like the vibe you're going for. Did any of this kind of match how you would do ministry and lead services and all that stuff? Or I was wondering if this is completely new or it's very similar.
No. It's not new. So I used to have. Is that Noah? Hey, can you fill up my water bottle and bring it to me? Thank you, my guy. Hey, so when I was a young adult pastor at Potter's House, obviously I taught every Friday, but I would also have Fridays. The whole thing was just a Q&A for 2 hours, and there was no question off limits.
Did you open with a small sermon?
No.
I went straight to Q&A.
No, like we did praise and worship, and then it was Q&A for 2 hours.
Come on,
Dude, never knew that.
Yeah,
bro.
and I was in my 30s, and so I cut my teeth on this very early on. So I've literally not heard any. Obviously, there's nuances to everybody's personal scenario, but in terms of themes and I've already heard it all.
Incredible.
Yo. I never knew
Incredible.
that.
And I just love how God, like, he's like, hey, bro, I gave you this blueprint a long time ago.
Long time
and we're
ago,
still
bro.
going to use that playbook.
Yeah, absolutely.
here.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything that I haven't already been doing for the last 20 years. I haven't.
Incredible.
I became a young adult pastor when I was 30 years old, and I'll be 50 this year. That's 20 years.
Incredible.
Just on that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's not all my private conversations with people and sitting with people who were going through divorce and sitting with people who were where a spouse had been unfaithful and sitting with somebody who doesn't feel fulfilled in their sex life and sitting with somebody who, you know what I'm saying? Sex hurts and it's painful and and sitting with somebody who is a widow now because her spouse died and sitting with somebody who has an addiction and sitting with somebody who has a trauma and like I already heard it already.
Can Hector ask a question before we get into the callers' questions?
Did you just refer to yourself in third person?
Yeah.
And yes.
Okay. Water. We got to confirm water delivery. Question.
Shout out to 1.1 in the chat.
Breakups with friends.
Hey, Tim, I'm 55 years old and I still kiss my father. Yes, Charles Mackey or McKee. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm kissing my boys until I go to heaven. Huh? 80. Noah said 86. Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, please forgive me. I just looked down and saw that and just wanted to
breakups with friends.
Breakups with friends, yeah.
Have you gone through them? How did you grieve it? How'd you go through it? Were you pissed? Were you sad when you wanted it to work out and it just couldn't? How does Tim Ross get through that?
When I become a friend with somebody, it's pretty much lifetime. The only way it's not lifetime is if they can't call their own fouls, and their lifestyle is so self-destructive that I can no longer participate because it's too painful for me to watch. And that's when I'll distance myself from that particular individual. So that like I was on a FaceTime call. Not FaceTime. Yeah, I was on a FaceTime call with I'm just gonna say their first names. Lisette, Sherry, and Letty. I have known Lisette since second grade. Hear me. I've known Lisette since I was 6 years old. Oh my gosh. Even saying it is just so funny to me. So I've known Lisette since I was 6 years old. I've known Letty since I was, I think, 12. And I think I've known Cherry since I was 13. And we were on the phone just laughing. You know, we all turned 50 this year. And these are some of my dearest friends. And I told them, I'll read you what I told them. I don't think they would mind me reading this. So here's what I told them. I said, I went to bed beaming from the fact that I literally have friends I've known since I was literally a kid. I don't know why I used literally twice, but I did. I love you all very much. I love your families very much. You're stuck with me unless you cancel your subscription to our friendship, in which case I'll continue to auto debit your friendship account regardless. Those are my people for life. Those are my people for life, bro. Like there's not enough big time. There's not enough.
Yep.
Those are my niggas for life, bro. Like that's who I rock with. 2 Hispanics and a Filipino. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Those are my people.
Yep.
And those are my longest friendships. Mm-hmm. Like Lisette is that's the friend I've known the longest. I love Lisette. I can still remember her. I can close my eyes and still see her in a 6-year-old body. Like she's just been my friend forever. I love that girl. And then I got homies that same, like my play cousin Damon Fikes is like, I think I've known him since I was 10. Him and his siblings. And then there's Marcus and Eddie and Marshall and Kevin and Sean, and I'm calling them all by their real names. I'm not calling them by their street names. So yeah, like friendships are incredibly important.
Yes. And
again, I will only fade on you if you can't admit that you're wrong.
Yes.
And if you're harmful to yourself or others, I'm gonna have to pull back.
And harmful to yourself meaning they are lacking self-awareness, or they're being toxic in the way they're moving.
No, it could be like an addiction.
Understood?
Yeah, it could be like an addiction. It could be I'll rock with anybody through an addiction. I not at the expense of my well-being.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be here when you get back.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I just don't like sometimes people got to lose it all before they gain it all.
Yes.
And people got to hit rock bottom. And sometimes the best thing you can do as a friend is leave people alone for a while and let them come to themselves. Like the prodigal son had to come to themselves, right? Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter number 5 talks about a guy who was sleeping with his stepmom, and he said he recommended and instructed that they should excommunicate that guy from the Corinthian fellowship. And it seems like harsh language. Hand him over to Satan so that his soul might be saved. Sometimes you just gotta let people do them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm not gonna be rocking with you. I'm gonna let you do you, and hopefully it becomes a situation where you feel like you need to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like that's my thing on friendships.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I am down for life. Now there might be a rhythm to friendships that, you know, you have more frequency in one season than you have in another season in terms of like proximity or getting together and stuff like that. But man, me and Lisette, time and distance hasn't taken away. We jump on the phone. It's like we just hung up the phone from
Right.
6th grade. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like when we was running track and field. So I take friendship very seriously.
Absolutely.
I'll say one more thing before we pivot because it's 10 o'clock now. I take friendship very seriously. I also take acquaintanceship seriously. There's a difference.
Ooh.
I have acquaintances
Yes.
and I love them,
Yeah.
but they're acquaintances.
Yeah.
I see them where I see them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An acquaintance doesn't have to have my number, but when I see them, I'm delighted. You know what I'm saying? Wherever we see each other, I'm like, oh my God, look at you. Man, you're awesome.
And you mean it.
Yeah.
And I mean it. I mean it. Like
This ain't no fake
it's
stuff.
really good to see you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How's everything going? How's your wife? How's your kids? All that kind of stuff. But in terms of like, hey man, let's connect. Can I get your number? No.
Thanks for sharing that, because like I'm learning that right now. I'm literally going through my phone. I had 1,067 contacts. I'm down to 499. My next step is I'm gonna change my number because I have this like attachment to that 619 area code. So maybe I keep it 619. I don't know, but like, thank you for modeling that and
Amen.
recognizing that not everybody. There's a window like my hula hoop. Like not everybody has access.
Here's my philosophy, since we were talking about great philosophers earlier. My philosophy is getting my number is like getting my address. I'm giving you access directly to me. And everyone does not deserve that, nor am I obligated to give that to everybody.
Yeah.
In the same way I wouldn't hand out my physical address to the street I live on to everybody. I'm not giving everybody my number.
Right.
In the same way, everybody doesn't have permission to pull up to my house and knock on the door. You don't have permission to ring my phone. I'm not giving you that access. And I'm not mad at you. I don't hate you. You're a great person. I love you and the whole nine. But can you do that for 1,000 people? Is that sustainable?
It's ridiculous that I even thought I could.
Right? If everybody decided to ring you today, you couldn't get to all the phone calls. Right?
Yeah.
If everyone decided to text you today, you couldn't get back to all the text messages. So why burden yourself with that? But we feel obligated.
Yeah.
Hey man, let's connect. Email, nigga.
We ain't
Yeah.
gotta do nothing.
Yeah.
Here's an email.
We ain't gotta do
We
nothing.
ain't gotta do nothing.
We ain't got to do nothing. Just, if I see you in the green room again, man, it's up. Oh, bro, I love you, man. Good to see you. Whatever. But like, man, everybody ain't supposed to be. I'm just sorry. Everybody ain't getting my number. That ain't happening.
Feel you.
Shout out to 1.1 in the chat.
1.1.
Boundaries will save your life, won't they? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:02 in the morning. Welcome. We wide open. Woo! That's right. We wide open.
Hey.
Call that number. We wide open.
We're wide.
Audio, video, wide.
Oh, we're wide.
We have made it to the 10 o'clock hour, ladies and gentlemen. You already know we are wide open on conversations. No question, comment, concern off limits. Just call and tell us what you want to talk about. That's all. Just let us know what's popping and it'll be popping. That's it. Bottom line. Do we already have one in the queue?
We're trying to get Joanna on the line. We're waiting for her to join. She should be joining shortly.
No worries.
Joanna, welcome to Wide Open. You're on with Tim Ross.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up, Joanna? How you doing?
What's good? I'm well, thank you.
It's good to hear your
Finally got
voice.
in. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Likewise.
What's going on?
So I really just kind of wanted to, I guess, get a little opinion, if you will.
Yep.
Possibly a little guidance. So I'm going to just kind of breeze through my story because I don't want to settle in on certain parts.
Okay.
Part of it is just, it's a little rough, but it's a testimony really in it. So I'm going to say like the end of 22, I lost my job due to not receiving the thing they was trying to give everybody. And I was like, I'm not doing it. Something in my spirit just like was like, Can't do it. Not doing it. Not for me.
Okay.
I was the bread when I was married, so we had been married at that time. I want to say about 17 years or whatever. Um, and about a week later, I had to ask him to leave. We were already having, troubles or whatever, and I was doing everything I could to try to stick it out, work it out. Got therapy and stuff like that for the first time in my life. Encouraged him to get therapy, and it was like he wasn't doing it. And once I realized my circle of concern, then I realized that I was, you know, kind of having to ask him to do something, multiple times as far as therapy. And I was just like, if he really wanted to do it, he'd do it. So I left that alone. So anyway, I asked him to leave. Like I said, I think like my spirit was really, really bothered one night. And I ended up, I just couldn't resist the need to check his phone and find out what I needed to find out. So I was like, you got to go. I packed his stuff all nice and neat because I was like, ain't no blood on my hands. I don't want to do things in the evil spirit. It just is what it is. The situation. It's just that. So we have 4 children together.
Okay.
So I am now a single mom again. I was the breadwinner, so the place that I was living in, I didn't know if I was going to be able to. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew I wasn't going to live. I was not going to survive if he was still there. It just was like too much.
Okay.
It was so the issue was just like cheating and stuff like that. And I always told him like, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to get it together, but
I'm tracking with you.
I told him like if that's what so I always told him like if whatever would break us up would be me seeing you stop, not trying no more basically.
hmm
So he stopped trying more or less, and I think he just kind of succumbed to the will of whatever he wanted to do, and that was cool. Whatever, not cool, but you know what I'm saying. Like it was
Understood.
what it was. It
Right.
came to a point.
Yep.
So fast forward from that, it's like I went through a lot at one time. I went through the loss of the job, the separation of my marriage that I never wanted to end. First man I ever gave myself to, and everything, all my kids were with him, nothing extra, no other, extra stuff. I did have some infidelity. I had I don't want to say like a mini affair because that's like minimizing it, and I'm not about that.
Yep.
But I had an affair during the marriage, and that was due to like me really feeling just like not attended to and all this stuff, whatever. But I owned that, and I told him. He never told me about none of his infractions. And I'm not saying that makes me holy, but it just, whatever. I just felt like that's not what I want to do because I felt how easy that was to get sucked into it. And it actually gave me a little empathy for his end of the bargain or whatever on his end.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to understand. But let me fast forward. I didn't want to get stuck in this part. Anyway,
You good?
give me a second. Let me breathe. So, fast forward. I am 2 years post that. It still feels like a lot from time to time, but I'm proud of my own personal growth. I will say that. I've learned that I was very codependent. There's a lot of things I've had to learn to do on my own. And I will say that through different ways and methods, God has really sustained me and kept me and my children.
Great.
That I'm grateful for.
Amen.
And now also, I have 4 lovely children, like I said, that I'm raising mostly on my own, with the exception of him getting them maybe 4 times a month.
Okay.
I noticed recently that I've been kind of pushing these children on him.
Mm.
And when I say that, it's to say, so I'll just give this example in brief. So his new child and he has a new girlfriend and a new child. He had all that before we officially divorced or whatever.
Okay.
That's what it is. What it is.
Right.
I said, and I thought it important to talk to the girl because my children are going to be around her when they went around. So I went in. I said, and had a conversation with her. She's 20 years younger than us. She's like a very nice girl, and it was also, I let her know, according to, I sat with her and talked to her about her dealings with my children, and that's where I kept it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go anywhere about him or anything like that. So whatever, that is what it is. So, it is, I told her I have no respect for her, but I hope that she would respect my children and that I teach them to respect her. then also, since they have a brother, I teach them that brother is their family. That's their brother, you know. So
For sure.
I've had to go through my emotions while I've gone through my children's emotions, you know, and I was the only one dealing with everybody's stuff, you know.
Yep.
Then it was his mom came to live with me, and the older daughter came to live with me, who is not mine, but is his, but I raised her. There's a bunch of stuff. Anyway, all that to say, where I am now is I'm trying to really just be a good mom. Like, I got a lot going on. Like, my youngest is special needs.
Okay.
It's just really busy around here.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm working. I'm a single mom now. I work a full-time job. Thankfully, I have a little bit of flexibility, but you know, after a while that gets questionable too. People start being like, okay, you know, so you know, finding childcare, you know, all this stuff is on me. And then I have 2 boys and 2 girls. So I don't even know why I started wavering back there. But anyway, I really just want to get to, like, I mean, because I know you and Juliet have boys, you know,
Yeah.
and I just kind of, out from a man, like, I need some guidance. I really worry about my boys. Like, my children are so good. They're very good children. They're well behaved. They're extremely smart. But also, I realize I'm not a man, and I can't give these boys what they need. And I guess I need some help and some guidance with that. I don't know if you have any advice or whatever. I don't know why I felt the need to share my whole life story, y'all. I'm so sorry.
No,
But
you don't need to apologize.
yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm doing the best that I can. And I really can't look to, I feel like I've come to a place where I can't look to their father for it.
Yeah.
So I kind of skipped over something. So like when I was talking about the baby's party, pushing the kids on him, he wasn't going to invite them. My oldest daughter told me, and he got upset with her for letting me know about it. And in the midst of the conversation, I let him know. I said, you know what? I realized something. I'm pushing these children on you. And he said, thank you. And that just let me know everything I needed to know right there.
Right.
I don't think he doesn't love them. I don't think he's the father that I had thought he was in the first place. I'm still breaking down all the things that I thought he was, should be.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Because, he might not be a good husband, but he's a good father.
Yeah.
Based on what?
Yeah.
Based on the fact that he's there and the children know him and they love him
Right.
and they adore him.
Right.
You know, so I've had to really continue to break down all these things that I had kind of, you know, build up or whatever. So, and that's where I am now. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't rely on him in that, you know, in that aspect. And yeah, it's just really interesting. My son even actually, I sent him to a college fair with someone's church, and he accidentally ran into his dad there.
Wow.
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was hella mad.
Right.
Because I'm like, how are you here? You didn't even call and say, hey, there's a fair going on. Let me take my son to the college fair.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Nothing. So that, again, these are the things that are building me to understand, no, you got to just do what you got to do on your end. Don't worry about that, and don't even go fuss at him about it. I'm not doing that. I don't want no drama, no nothing.
Yep.
I'm just trying to move in my lane and what I need to do. So in that, I'm just looking for just anything. If you hear anything in what I said to say anything, you don't even need to ask me for permission. I'm a wide open book, as you can tell.
For sure.
I'm wide open on this wide open podcast, so that's what we're doing.
For sure.
So, yeah. Let me know, big bro.
Yeah, I got you, girl. First of all, I just want to tell you I love you. And I'm so proud of you. Your self-awareness is so delightfully refreshing. Like to hear you and to hear your awareness around your relationship with this man, the impact it has had on you, the impact it has had on the children. And I just think what I was blown away by is the self-awareness around deconstructing what you thought you had with this man and the role you thought he had with the children. Like a lot of people, a lot of parents don't deconstruct that way. And I'm just, you are delightful, girl. I applaud you. Thank you. I know you helped
Thank you.
a lot of people just by talking. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people that are listening to you are like really, really excited and getting some revelations as they hear you speak. Um,
Thank
all right, so you're dealing with a new reality, and
you. Yeah.
out of everything that you talked about, you became most tender when you talked about those boys.
Yeah.
And I know you don't care about your boys more than you care about your girls, but you recognize your limitation when it comes to these boys. And they're good
Yes.
kids, and you just want to make sure that your insufficiency doesn't leave them with a deficiency.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to tell
You all
you,
got a great one. Thank you.
they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I know it's heavy for you. They are going to be okay. You have deconstructed their father. You recognize that this man does not want to be the father he needs to be to his children. The girls are the boys. And I just need you to know, God doesn't need you to play both roles. Be mama. Let Adonai be daddy. And just trust that there is a village and a community that can supplement for what their father literally doesn't want to give them. It's not that he lacks the capacity. He's around.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just doesn't want to make the investment.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give the
Right.
time, right? He wants to be that lazy dude.
Yeah.
And so since he doesn't want to make the investment, we're not going to force nobody to do nothing that they can't do. We only can control ourselves. We can't control nobody else.
Yep.
So I just want you to be
Yep.
mama and let Adonai be daddy.
Yeah.
And just trust
Yeah.
that God got them. God got them. You are not going to be in a position, those boys, those God's going to take care of those boys. He's already
Yeah.
taking care of you.
Facts.
He's
Big
already
facts.
right. He's already taking care of you. He's going to take care of them. But that's my I
Yeah.
think my biggest encouragement for you, sis, and my biggest admonition is you don't have to be both.
Yeah.
Just be mama.
Yeah. I'll be saying that, so I'll be like, I can't be no dude because I'm too cute.
Ha! Yeah! Be cute, mama. Be very
I'll be
cute.
like, you know, listen, I know my limitations.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
so-
that is so hilarious to me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want you to stay cute and stay mama. And listen, this is what we got tribes for. You know what I'm saying? You are not
Yeah.
you are not
Yeah.
going to be out there by yourself.
Yeah.
The
I appreciate that. That's a good reminder.
good. I'm glad.
Community.
Yeah, you got community, girl. You got
Yeah.
community.
That's right.
And you can steer clear. We
Thank
can
you. I think it's
yeah, we can help steal your sons clear of the bad ones. But when they get around some good ones, it's like we're going to double down on them. You can go to his house. Right?
Yeah.
You can hang out with
Right.
that dude and his dad, right? Yeah, y'all go over there.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what's up. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you're gonna be all right. I love you. Thank you. I hope you feel
Love you guys,
encouraged.
too. I do. Thank you. I mean, sometimes you just need a reminder.
For
You
sure.
need a reminder.
Absolutely.
You got community around you. And so I truly appreciate that. And I hope by me spilling out my business that somebody really just, got something they needed from that. Because I know, this is a community and I love it here. So
Well,
thank you, Wide Open.
we-
Thank you,
hey,
Eric. Thank you.
we love you here, and your vulnerability helps us grow. Every time somebody calls in and decides to be vulnerable, we all get to grow as a result.
Yeah.
So thank you for the gift of your vulnerability, because we all just grew up with you right now.
Yes.
That's real.
All right.
Hector, you be wilding out, but I love you too.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting me just the way I am.
Amen.
Right. And avocado chair and stance of Julie. Love you too.
Amen.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
Y'all take care.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
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 That's the homie right there, man. Hey, you bringing in an OG brick right now. Did she come in or did she not?
I'm trying to get her in.
Okay. That's an OG brick right there.
Oh,
Roger
really?
that.
Oh, she's an OG brick. OG brick.
Praise God.
She can come in here and co-sign everything that I just told you about.
She got me on ghostage right now.
No worries. If she gets in, she gets in. But if not, it's all good. Yeah. No. I so applaud my sister for calling in and giving us where she is. It could be heavy for single moms, man. It could be heavy for single moms.
Yeah.
Raising children, but especially boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I grew up in a single mother household, and so my father wasn't there, but my mom, I didn't realize that until I got to Dallas. But I dealt with abandonment because she was gone providing, and the rejection and abandonment that it was just I discovered that through processing, right? But like the people that I gravitated to in terms of father figures are the ones that led me astray, man. I was trying to be like them, homies from the block.
Yeah.
Older relatives.
Yeah.
And they didn't have my best interest at heart.
For sure, of course.
Block, you know?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So I get where she's coming from. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
That tug on her.
Yeah, and in that nurturing way, she just needs to be like, you can't hang out with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had a 2-parent home because of homie right here. My mama's discernment was, my mom could see through lead, fam.
That top tier.
My mom, like, I would have my homies come over. She just walked through and say hi. She didn't sit in the room with us, nothing like that. She wasn't in the next room ear hustling. She came in, said hi to us. Oh, these are your friends? Okay. She walk out. My friends leave a couple of hours later, and she would tell me, that dude can't come back in my house. Why, mama? They're not permitted back in my house. Bro, we found out later this one was on drugs. This one was shooting. This one was, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she did that with girls too. She threw so much salt in my game.
They didn't pass the vibe check.
My mom threw salt in my game.
Complete rip-off.
She was, when I tell you mama bear,
Himalayan salt.
no, it was just table salt.
MSG.
It was
Morton's.
just, it was
Iodized.
it was Morton's iodized salt.
with the little umbrella. Don't want to catch a break.
Except old girl's umbrella was closed. She was just getting salted, bro. Like a snail.
Get that iodized.
She was getting iodized for life.
You gotta confirm ghostage.
No worries. It's all good. We just stay wide open. Yes, David Williams, stay in your kids' business as long as they in your house. Let me tell you something right now. Let's have a public service announcement for kids. There's my kids under my roof. There is no such thing as privacy. There's a such thing as boundaries, but there's no such thing as privacy. Right? Like we live our lives wide open. We live our lives wide open. Like we don't do no foolishness. So my sons know that, well, only one of my sons has a phone now, and that's because he graduated at 16. I put the code inside of his phone. He can't download any apps that we don't want him to have without permission. He has to get our permission to download apps. That's just the way we do in our house. Because here's the thing. When they get out of our house, they have the rest of their life to do whatever the hell they want to do. as long as they are under my roof, they are not going to be doing anything they want to do. They do not have a lock on their door to their room. They don't get to do whatever they want to do. And some people might think that's harsh. Some people might think that's over the top. That's the way we parent our children. And we are very much believers in raising our children, not just letting them grow up in our house. They're being raised in our house. So I'm raising my children.
Absolutely.
Weeds grow. Let me say this: weeds grow. You ain't got to cultivate a weed. A weed will just grow in your house. My kids ain't just growing up in my house. They're being raised in my house.
Yeah.
So that's what I got to say.
We got Marion on the line confirmed.
I love you, Marion.
Yes. Love you too.
What's popping, homie?
Okay, so well, first of all, you already know I love the family. You already know it's about to be a hot conversation. Open, I'm listening transparent.
Absolutely.
So here's the issue.
Okay.
So,
Hey, there's a Marion. There's a lot of background noise, so it's making it difficult for us to hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm at work. This is just what happened when you work at a jail.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Okay, I got you now. It's cleared up now. Go ahead.
Okay, so July 2023 was a hard year.
Okay.
So July 30th, 2023, my mother passed away.
I'm sorry.
September, I found out that my mother committed suicide. So, I'm still processing that because my mom knew the Bible inside and out. I saw her pray for people, prophesy for people, and the Lord just used her in a mighty way. Since she's passed away, I'm angry at God and I feel guilty. And this is why I feel guilty, is because I knew my mom masked also. I knew how to manage her emotions, even though it was not healthy for me mentally. I still knew how to manage her emotions.
Yep.
And so I feel guilty because when I chose what was best for my mental health, I feel like I left her with people who did not know how to be there like I could. So that's where the guilt comes in. The anger comes in with God is because, like, say, for example, when I'm out with my friends, you know how you be out having dinner or lunch or whatnot, the Lord would just be like, you need to tell this person that, and tell that person that, and tell that person that. Or I could be doing something at home, classwork, and the Lord be like, you need to text this person, you need to do that. And I'm like, why didn't you give me that feeling the night or the day before she committed suicide? Why didn't you put her in my spirit? I don't know if it would have changed anything, but why didn't you do that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all these emotions that I'm feeling, and it's like, help.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm so sorry for the loss of your mom, and then for you to find out 2 months later the details. I'm so sorry you had to walk through that, Marion.
I'm trying not to cry.
It's okay.
But I'm learning that it's okay to cry because, I used to have issues with that, but I'm learning to cry.
For sure.
Because there's no one I can really lean on with this because no one in my circle has walked through these shoes.
For sure. Absolutely.
Your mom being a doctor, wanted to teach Sunday school and evangelist, and she just committed suicide.
Yeah.
A part of me, I'm not going to even lie, is shocked because I know my mom had a lot of issues that she was trying to deal with throughout her life, and it was just certain things that she couldn't let go, she couldn't past.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's one of the reasons why she just was like, I quit.
Yeah.
That's where my guilt came in because I'm like, if I was there, I could have kept pushing you.
Yeah.
Like, Mama, you can get through this. It's okay, Mama. We've been down this road before, but it's like, I just don't know.
Okay. So because we have so much history and we go all the way back to Brick, are you opposed to us just talking like you were in my office with the red paint on the walls?
I am not opposed to that. That's
Oh.
what I was expecting.
Okay. All right. So let's go with the guilt first, and then let's go with the anger with God. We'll go in order, okay? So
Okay.
I'm pronouncing a not guilty verdict on you right now, right this minute. And I mean, I didn't know you was working in the jail system right now, so I mean, no pun intended on the not guilty verdict. But you did what was best for your own mental well-being, and you were not ever going to be present enough for your mom not to be dealing with these emotions and be dealing with this temptation and this desire that ultimately she succumbed to. You could have wound up in the same type of situation as your mom if you would have continued to try to help her. It was taking an emotional and mental toll on you that you could not sustain. So what you did for you kept your mind and regulated your body and your nervous system and brought you peace. Is that true or false?
That's true.
Okay.
That's very, very true.
Okay. So what you did for you was the best thing for you. Now, here's where we fight with that guilt. Sometimes the best decision for us leaves people to have to fend for themselves. And if we're codependent and or enmeshed with a person, we have cultivated a relationship where they can't make it without us, which is not healthy. And the moment you chose to do something different, your mom lost her codependent figure, or the person that she relied on, or the person that you felt like you had to be for her to be okay. And she wasn't able to make it. That's not your fault.
Is the honor?
No. Because the alternative is to stay in a dysfunctional codependent relationship and both of y'all die.
Okay.
You got me?
Okay. I got you.
Okay. Now, let's go to the anger that you have with God. And I'm gonna talk to you just like we in that office on 6777 West Keys Boulevard, okay?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay. Nigga, do you actually think God was gonna allow you to be Jesus Jr.?
No, I think he was going to allow me to be Jesus Jr. Because I can't endure what Jesus went through, so I know I can't be Jesus Jr. It's
Okay.
hard enough saying things with niggas these days.
Yeah, so this whole thing about you being pissed with God because he didn't drop a dime and let you know what your mom was going through, nigga, who do you think you are? You were never going to be her savior. You would have bought her another week? Another month?
Okay.
God gonna have to keep waking you up at night for you to be her personal guardian angel? Like, why would God do that to you? That would be cruel.
Okay, I didn't think about it from that perspective. I'm not going to even lie. I did not think about it from that perspective at all. So that will be mentally and emotionally draining. Now I'll be back where I was before everything else went down. So okay, you're right.
Right? So like, if anything, and you might not be able to appreciate this now, if anything, he spared you by not telling you. And this is one of those tensions
Break that down.
yeah, yes, girl. I will.
Break that down just a little
I
bit.
surely will, because this is one of these tensions we got to hold when we're dealing with a sovereign God. He's not going to put more on us than we can bear. He loved you enough to stagger the news between her death and the way she died. He didn't let you find that out all at once. So God hasn't been cruel to you. He's been kind, but if it's not kindness on our terms, it's not kindness in the way we want it. It's the way he wills. And sometimes we get it on this side, and sometimes we won't get it to the other side.
Okay. Okay. So I just need to just really let everything go, because
No,
it's
Marion,
like,
I didn't say that. Did you hear me say that?
no. Okay, let me say when I say not let it, because it's like I can't. I know I'm in tension, and I know I'm holding that tension. But it's some days I just want to punch and break everything in my house and cuss everybody out.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
have my days where I'm like, okay. It's then as I have my days like I need about 5 Long Islands and 2 bottles of wine. And then I have my days when I just want to just be in the holies of holies,
Right.
and just listen up to Jesus and old school bricks.
Yep.
I have those moments.
Yep.
And they come up when I can't even know when they're coming, and I know that's something I don't like, but I don't have no control over it either.
Yep. Well, because grief comes in waves.
Okay.
Right? Grief comes in waves, and sometimes what washes on the shore is peace, and other times what washes up on the shore is anger, and sometimes what washes up on the shore is confusion, denial. These are just all the stages that come in these waves. And the agreement that I've always made with my grief is that when it comes, I will not ignore it. I will not ignore my grief when it comes. And I will not allow my grief to do anything that will compromise my integrity and fidelity to God, nor bring harm to my body. I am down to rock with my grief in any way, except for those two things. If it's gonna make me do something that's gonna cause me to, like, I'm not. When grief comes, grief can't be like, man, let's just watch some porn and masturbate. Nah, grief, we can't do that, dog.
Right.
I'm cool with you coming over today, and you can sit in the living room. We're not watching porn though.
Yeah, we're not gonna use that as an excuse to watch porn.
No, we're not gonna watch porn. And I also we're not gonna have 5 Long Islands and 2 bottles of wine.
Can I have at least 1 Long Island?
Hell yes, you can have 1 Long
Just
Island.
one.
Yes, of course you can have 1 Long Island. You can't have 5.
Okay, but my tolerance is 5, but I will only do 1.
Yeah, man.
I just keep forgetting that this is all wide open. I'm like I'm in office. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
Hey, Marion,
Okay.
you're one of the few that can give perspective to this. Obviously you were part of the young adult ministry that I had at Brick, and we used to chop it up a lot. Will you just please take a couple of moments to tell them that I've always been like this?
Oh yes, he's always been this way. He's always been this real, and I can say next year will make 20 years that he's been this real, this transparent. This man has been a part of my life for 20 years. So when I come to him, I can't give him no BS, because I know he ain't gonna give me no BS, because he loves me enough to say, I want to see you win. And if he has to tell me in a way that he know I'm going to receive it, and it'd be like this. So yeah, what you see is what you get. Nothing more, nothing less. That's just him, and I'm so thankful, and I love him so much for that. And, ooh, I need to tell this to you. Thank you for sharing your parents with me. Thank you for allowing me to see that type of love. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that, because I know everybody don't get access to that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just want to let you know, thank you for allowing me to see them be in love, and just thank you. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm starting crying. So thank you.
No, I love you, girl. My parents have literally shared me with the world, and so it would be very selfish of me for me not to share them with you.
That is something I will always treasure. You sharing your parents with me, me being able to get a hold of you, and just thank you. Just thank you for being you. Thank you for being transparent with me. Thank you for always holding me accountable.
Yeah.
Thank you for not letting me use no excuses. Thank you for making me grow up. Next year will be 20 years your ministry has been in my life and grown me up and matured me and anchored me. So thank you for being the vessel to obey to come to Texas, because I know they ain't where you want to come and stay. So thank you for being obedient to the voice of the Lord.
I love you so much, Marion. Thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling in. Have a great day, okay?
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.
Tim, I need everyone in the chat salute, bro.
Thank you, bro.
That is fruit. 20 years, bro.
She's one of my disciples.
Incredible.
She's one of my disciples.
Salute, bro.
Like soon as I saw her name and her face, I'm like, oh, I know that. I know exactly who that is.
Man.
And I thought it would be, I don't know if it's beneficial or not, but like, this is the way I've been talking to her.
Yes, sir.
For 20 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ain't no controversy over here. Ain't nobody trying to be salacious. Ain't nobody trying to be controversial. No. It's just who I've been, man. So
it'll be by its fruits. By its fruits.
You shall know them by their fruits.
By its fruits.
And my receipts are people.
Dude.
When people want to know the fruit of my ministry, you can't look to a 90-second Instagram reel. I got my receipts are people. I have written epistles that are people. People can testify.
No books, no no stacks column, no
people. I could just do a roll call of people.
Roll call.
So
do you remember the first time someone asked you to be their mentor or their discipler?
Mm-hmm. I was so incredibly humbled. I take that very seriously. Like, I take it very seriously. There's nobody that I disciple that they get me.
Yeah.
Because that's what you. They have to follow me as I follow Christ. But if I'm not in proximity, how can they follow?
Oh. I remember one time you said it's proximity, finances, and time.
That's what you're giving up if you're going to really disciple somebody. You got to let them in your personal space, which means that they can't see duplicity, right? Because you got to let them in your personal space. They can't just see you on preaching, right? I've seen so many preachers say, if you want to get to know me, just follow my ministry. And the sermons I preach, as you sit under my ministry, you'll learn more about me. Now, I'll learn more about your theology. I'll learn more about the way you think about the Bible, but I don't get to know you. How come your wife hasn't said amen to your service? That's what I'm looking at. Bump your sermon. Your wife ain't said amen to 6 months of your sermons. Who's next?
Love you, dude.
We got Gabby pulling up.
Gabriela,
welcome to Wide Open with Tim Ross.
Hello.
Hola, Gabby.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my God. can't believe I'm actually talking to you.
It's good to see your face. Your hair is so cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on?
Okay, so I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with a question and then I'll give you a little bit of context. I guess I'm just looking for either advice, guidance. I don't know.
Okay, no
I'm gonna
worries.
let you decide what you give me.
Okay.
Um, okay, so my question is, how do you practically work on allowing people to see you
Okay.
or being comfortable with people seeing you?
Yep.
Context on that is so in the midst of my therapy sessions with God, he's revealed that he revealed to me a couple years back that a vow that I made and I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't even remember that at all. But when I left my daughter's father, which this was like 7 years ago when I made this vow, I remember I left that relationship saying that I was never gonna allow anybody to ever see me again, to see my weaknesses
Mm-hmm.
or anything ever
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward, 20, I think I was like, in 2022 is when I officially or looked for Jesus and
Yep.
started to create that relationship.
Great.
And when he, in the midst of our therapy sessions, he revealed to me the events leading up to that vow.
Yep. Yep.
And so one, obviously, like I said, with the relationship with my daughter's father was pretty intense. And in the beginning, I kind of I remember you, I think, I don't know if it was another wide open, but you were giving the steps on how you should date.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And you're like, don't vomit all over your stuff. Like, wait a couple. Well, yeah, I was the one that vomited very early on.
Okay.
And he ended up using like all of that stuff against me throughout our whole relationship to kind of like keep me,
Got you.
like just control and like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then before him, um, when I was 20, I'm about to be 29 on Friday.
Okay.
So, but so when I was 20, I didn't know then, but now I know that it was Holy Spirit trying to like guide me and call me at that time, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. But I remember I had this moment where I just kind of felt like, I don't know, the only thing I was good for was I'm going to be a little transparent, where I felt like the only thing I was good for sex.
Okay.
Like I didn't, yeah, like nobody wanted me for anything else but that.
Okay.
And so um, I just had this feeling like I didn't want that. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, how do I get rid of this?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? And so I saw, and the first thing that came to mind was at the church that my mom was going to, this pastor came down to kind of like have a conference or whatever with the youth. He was a youth pastor.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, what better person to go talk to? Because I remember my thought after I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, maybe I need God. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, maybe
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
was
Right.
like,
Right.
here's a pastor. What better person to go to about God than a pastor, right?
Right.
So I went to him, and I had never been this open about anything that's ever happened to me until that moment. I
Yeah.
was like, I basically just vomited everything. I was like, look, Pastor, I'm asking for guidance. Like, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
I don't even know how this whole thing with God works, but this is what's happened to me, and this is how all of this stuff has made me feel.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I need help with this.
Yeah. Of course.
Well, um, unfortunately, he ended up using that against me as well. And uh, yeah, he just did some stuff that a pastor shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
and said some things that a pastor shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And then when I confronted people, or when I told the in-house pastor of my mom's church, at first they believed me and they were like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" But when they went to go talk to him, he made it out to be like I was some young girl who was illusioned by a pastor and took things out of context. And so they didn't. so then they came back to me and they said, I think you might have misinterpreted everything that happened or whatever. So I kind of took that as like, wow, okay, so there's that,
Yeah.
and I still had like a little ounce of hope to
Mm-hmm.
kind of get help,
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I was crying because then another friend that I told that happened about that didn't believe me either because they really liked the pastor,
Mm.
and they were like, "Are you sure you didn't take that wrong or anything?" And so again, I'm like going through this whole thing and I'm like at another friend's house and I'm like crying. And I just, like I said, I still had this like little ounce of hope to kind of get help. And again, I was just, what God revealed to me is that this time in my life, I was going to cry for help.
Yeah.
I was asking for help. And I told this guy too, I was just like, told him everything. And then literally a couple of days later, he comes to my house with flowers and like stuffed animals and then tries to literally kiss me when I come out. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then he's like, oh, I thought you opening up meant you wanted to be with me. And so that in my head registered as, you know what? Maybe I am only good for this because everybody that I've asked for help responds with that. Like the pastor, the way he started to touch on me, the things that he would tell me, like he told me at the end of everything, the last thing he ever told me before I told him, like, you just need to stop, is he told me that he would leave his wife and kids if I would say yes. I remember there was a moment he would try to text me at inappropriate times. And I remember one time he asked me to come over because he wanted to talk about my stuff and help me. And I just felt this huge tug of like, no, don't allow him to come. Don't be alone with him.
Yeah,
Is
for
is
sure.
I just felt this huge tug. And so what I did was I told my mom and my no, yeah, I told my mom to be there with me. Um and I told him, okay, you can come this day. And Tim, when I tell you, when I opened that door and he saw my mom right next to me, the face he had, it was like I just knew it's not what he wanted,
Of course
you
not.
know?
Of course not. Yeah.
And when he sat down at the table, like my poor mom at that time, things were really rough with us. So she was looking for guidance as well.
Yep.
And my poor mom was just spilling everything out. And I was just like reading him and his body language and everything. And he just was not engaging with my mom, not paying attention to her, not giving a shit about her. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Not giving a shit about her. And the way he would look at me was just like, you like, why did you ask her to be here?
Yeah.
Type of, I don't know. It was just horrible. And then like, when he was saying goodbye, he was just like he said bye to my mom, and then like the way he would hug me, I hated it. I
Yeah, for
hated
sure.
it, and but yeah, like it's just so fast forward now. I've been doing a lot of work thanks to you. You've helped me with a lot of my journey. God led me to you when you started this whole thing. I've been here since day one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, but I feel like I still have this block
Of
that
course.
I don't know how to get out of because I've come to accept and realize that I'm afraid to fail. But the main reason is because I just don't want people to see any of my weaknesses, anything of me that they could use against me.
Absolutely.
And so and I feel like that hinders me in a lot of stuff of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I just want to get out of this. I don't know how to practically work on it, or I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
there's that.
Gabriela, I'm so proud of you. And I also have a lot of anger. Based on the story you told me, I wanna go mollywop all three of these guys. Your vulnerability is so pure and endearing, and to hear how it has been weaponized against you is heartbreaking to me. I want to tell you three things before I tell you anything else, okay? Number one is I love you. Number two is that you are a very beautiful woman. And number three, I do not want to have sex with you. I have no desire to have sex with you. You are my sister in Christ Jesus. And you are not an object to me. You are a woman who has been fearfully and wonderfully made in the sight of God, who has meaning and value and spiritual giftings and a purpose and a plan from the Most High. Your vulnerability is safe with me. Your body is safe with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I truly feel that with you guys. I'm not I'm not an active dweller, like I'm not commenting or
Mhm.
anything like that, but when I tell you that I've inhaled everything that you've said and you've even been so far away, you've made me feel so safe to open up
Yeah.
and heal and talk about certain parts of my life and testimony.
Mm-hmm.
I truly feel that, Tim. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love you, sissy. So, your call was like, how can you practically open up and be vulnerable? And you just did it on this whole call.
I knew it was gonna be very contradictory, but I just
No. It's not contradictory at all. Because doing it with me is going to be completely different than doing it with somebody within your circle of faith and your family and your friends. Gabriela, my encouragement is to you is to find one person. One person. Like, you're not at this stage that you need to like be trying to find a whole community to be vulnerable with. I just want you to find one person, male or female. And if you already trust them, it's great. If you don't know them, but you're like, I need to get past this, because an inner vow, first of all, Jesus loves you enough not to let you live in a prison, an emotional prison, right? And these three guys did not know how to steward your vulnerability. They tried to weaponize it. They tried to sexualize it for their own disgusting desires and twisted desires. And God protected you in every single one of the situations. God protected you, especially with Creep Pastor. First of all, like, no shade to the leadership of your church, but for them not to believe you just lets you know how these kind of creeps continue to be protected by a system that loves their charismatic personality and their giftings more than they love keeping people safe. There's absolutely no reason that you would ever make something up on this pastor and then bring it to another leader. And for them to ignore that and dismiss that, no matter what the hell he said. You had the receipts, you had the text messages. Bro, is flagrant. And for them not to investigate it deeper because he might have a spiritual gift or because the church might love them, it just lets you know that we have a broken church system that protects predators. And until leadership, it should not be incumbent upon you as a parishioner, as a congregant, to have to expose this dude, to let everybody know he's a perv behind the scenes, right? Leadership should want to stand up for righteousness and holiness and integrity and character enough that we're not going to let this happen. I had a situation. I don't even think I've ever shared this publicly, but it's about to go down. I had a situation where I went to another country, and there was a person that had traveled with other ministers to this country prior to me. And this was my first time going to this country. And so this person went with me because he's been there with several other ministers that had gone to the country. Well, we had a lot of ministry to do, and we went to this one city and we did our ministry there. And then we came back to a different city in this country. I have to be very vague. But then the pastor's wife came up to me at dinner, like this after I preached that day. And then we were at dinner at a great Italian restaurant, by the way. Like, these were some authentic Italians, right? So their last name may have been Spaghetti. Like, it was that Italian. I don't know if there's anybody with the last name Spaghetti, but I'm just saying. So she pulls me to the side and she says, "I have to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" And she says, "I don't even know how to bring this to your attention, but one of my assistants told me that your travel companion hit on her and invited her to his hotel room."
Oh, no.
And she was like, "I don't know. I'm not assuming what his intentions were, because this guy has a fiance, right?
Mm.
He was engaged to be married. I don't know what his intentions were. I'm not trying to say he was trying to do something bad. But I just needed you to know, and I don't even want anything to be done. It's just, it made my assistant feel bad." And it was almost like she was like apologizing for bringing it to my attention, and like almost apologetic that her assistant felt bad by what he said. And I was like, "Yo, this is flagrant." I said, "I thank you for bringing it to my attention. This will never happen again." So we got back to the hotel room. I ripped dude a whole brand new a-hole. I created one for him. I ripped him one. Okay. Then I told that nigga he's never traveling with me again, because he almost closed a whole country to me.
Mm.
And I said, because it's her word against yours, what I don't feel right is going to tell your fiance. That's on you. This is who you're going to marry. If this is the way you're going to behave, I don't even think you should get married. You're lucky I don't tell her. But what I can do is I can stop you from traveling with me. You will never travel with me as long as you live again. Okay. I cut that boy off. Okay. Do you know he wound up at another church later, and then he wound up having sex with a minor, and then he wound up going to prison?
Wow.
Because there's always going to be a church that will aid and abet a charismatic pervert.
I remember they told me that they're just not gonna allow him to come back unless he comes back with his family. And then like months later,
He was back.
he was back. And I remember I was sitting in the church, and when I turned around, I saw him. I just felt like, I don't know, like my heart just dropped down to my butt, and
Yeah.
I left.
Yeah.
And I stayed away from the church for so many years until God met me in 2022.
Yeah.
And I remember I told him when I was in my, I guess, like rock bottom,
Yeah.
I was getting ready to just not be here.
Yeah.
And once I was gonna make that decision, remember God brought back a memory from my brother, a little seed that he planted years ago. He was like, the love that you're looking for, you will never find until you find out the love that God has for you.
Absolutely.
And when I was in my room in the dark and I heard that, I was like, you know what? I was like, I've never actually given you a shot, God. I was like,
Mm,
let's see if you really are who people say you are.
yeah.
I was like, but one thing for sure, I was like, I'm not going to no church
Yeah.
and I'm not going to no pastor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me know how this is gonna work because I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. Well, your
Mhm.
your inner vow, Gabriela, was born out of a valid response to the weaponization of your vulnerability. And God loves you too much for you to build a prison that gets no one in, but also doesn't let you out. And so he gave you us as a starter,
Yeah.
right? To kind of redeem. And then from here, from our community, you can just go find people that, like, if they don't match what you have here, then they don't deserve to be in your circle.
Yeah.
So take your time and you have the right to be very discerning in who you want to open up to.
Okay.
God is not asking you to like try again like you did last time and just start telling everybody your business. No, just whoever you can't put your trust in, just put your faith in. And it again, these three clowns couldn't handle your vulnerability. And also, there's a bunch of people who can.
Yeah.
And so slowly and surely make your community people that you share some things with and you realize, oh, that didn't go anywhere. I think I'll share a little bit more. Oh, you can handle that? That didn't go anywhere? Okay, I guess I'll share a little bit more.
Okay.
So give it to them in doses.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel calmer. I
Good.
was super nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
Before this, I told Derek, I was like, when he messaged me, I was like, I feel like I want to throw up.
Yeah, good. No.
Um, but I feel a lot calmer and that makes sense. It's just little by little. I'm the type of person that just like give me everything and I'll do it right now, like all of it.
Right.
And
right.
that,
Yeah. Yeah.
it makes sense. This has to be something that's slow
Yeah.
and it'll eventually grow.
Yes. This is getting. You were in the deep end of the pool. You get out. You walk over to the shallow, and you just put your feet in.
Yeah.
Right. In relationships with vulnerability, because, unfortunately, this is so damn unfortunate. I hate that I even have to say it, but I have to say it. I don't know what it is about people in the church. We know everybody comes to church. Like everybody comes from church, from every block, right? Everybody's brokenness comes to church. Everybody's trauma comes to church. Everybody's everything comes to church. The church has a problem not sexualizing beautiful people. Let me just say it. Church has a problem, male and female. Like, it's not just. I don't know what that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot. I'm gonna have to process that because I don't think I've ever said it out loud. But I've encountered it too many times. I've just encountered it too many times, and yeah, I just it breaks my heart that people and their bodies can't be safe at church. I'm not saying every church is like that. There's a lot of churches where people's bodies are safe, and there's a lot where they're not. And it seems like, unfortunately, it's a crapshoot. right? It just seems like it's by the luck of the draw. Like, oh, this happens to be a safe place. And then we're all shocked, right? Like, oh, you don't want to have sex with me? Oh, hey, man, wow, good for you. Like, oh, you actually love your wife and you don't have eyes for me and you're not looking at me? Like that shouldn't be abnormal. But, you know, your history says it is. And I know so many young women and young men that have the same narrative, and it just pisses me off. So we just got to be a little more cautious.
I can't tell you how many times like it's hit me so much every single time you've said that. Like your story about the one lady that her mom and daughter that came to your office.
Yeah.
You told them the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, when I heard that the first time, I was like, oh my God, why couldn't I have him that time?
And that this in a perfect world, obviously in a perfect church, that's the way it should go 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
It should go like that 10 times out of 10. And it's just unfortunate that it's not the norm. But hopefully you and me and everybody else that we get to influence, we can make this normal.
Yeah. Before I leave, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do on this podcast. I've never in my life have ever seen somebody so transparent and so vulnerable and just say things like even down to the you transitioning from the B-side to now just YouTube.
Yeah.
Even that, like, it's just a lot of people would have kept that to themselves, or at least in my world.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. Yeah.
From what I've seen, people would keep that to themselves, but that just seeing you, that one episode, just seeing you talk about it and just, hey, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And we move on.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how much, even just that just gave me such a little freedom. Like, I could just do that.
Yeah.
Like, I can just leave something and just not even care or anything.
Yeah.
I just, thank you guys so much. Even Hector and Derek, when they tell their stories and everything, like, it's so refreshing to see, and it's real. I'm not used to seeing realness.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing a lot of people hiding face.
Yeah.
Which is something that I did for so long until God ripped off the mask and exposed me completely.
Yep.
But thank you so much. I'm a silent dweller, but you guys are getting my likes, my follows, my money.
Thank you. No, we appreciate the support and we appreciate the encouragement as well. We really do. It is our honor to serve you. It really is.
Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much.
Okay. We love you too, Gabriela. Have a wonderful day, okay?
Love you, sis.
You too.
All right. Bye. Yo, I just want to say, like there's literally at this point in my life, after 29 years of following Jesus, there is no other way for me to be. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no way that I could have made that pivot from B-side and not shared it with our community.
Yeah.
Like I shared with the community that I was going to B-side. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how could I not share with the community that painfully and regrettably I had to leave it and that I chose to leave it? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't even do the show no more. I wouldn't be able to do Basement. There's no reason to start Wide Open if I'm not going to be that transparent and that vulnerable. And I really appreciate Gabriela just encouraging us.
Absolutely.
And this is why we're here.
Of course.
We're here, like when we say we're here to normalize vulnerability, this is what we mean.
Yes.
Like we literally show up every day.
I think that's also
for 3 hours.
I think it helps us.
Yeah.
Because we're processing in real time instead of like, you got to wait a week till we can all catch up.
Yeah.
To me, this has helped me grieve that season.
Yeah.
It's not lost on us. We didn't lose.
Yeah.
Like we didn't fail.
Right.
It's just we chose to leave. So we're grieving it, and being able to talk with y'all every day, it's helped.
Yeah.
And bringing them along for the ride.
Yeah. I think I mean, God's gift to us coming out of, maybe the best gift he could have given us coming out of that season was Wide Open.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we were doing a once a week live
on Monday,
right, for 2 hours. And it was like, hey, y'all have talked about it for 2.5 years. And you've been championing, being the champion of this, beating this drum that is normalize vulnerability. Well, you can't normalize it if they only see it once a week.
Yeah.
So, dude,
Like, bro, this is
bars, dog.
This is a real time processing.
Yo,
The Lord, it's like the Lord was like, hey, bro, you want to normalize vulnerability? You can't do it 1 week at a time.
You want to make something normal? You can't do it on an irregular schedule.
Oh, you want to normalize? Oh, you want to normalize vulnerability? Cool.
Okay.
Sit out there for 5 days a week for 3 hours, 15 hours a week, and normalize it then.
So we're not like picketing and protesting something, but we are here every day. So what are we doing? What's the opposite of protesting?
Well, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm a word fiend.
Like I just see us outside of like the courthouse, like normalize vulnerability.
Is it campaigning? Would it be campaigning? I don't
challenge. Okay, no. Those are synonyms. Antonyms: agreement, answer, calm, harmony, peace. Compliment, flattery, praise, acceptance, approval. I don't like those.
It feels like I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, we're not protesting. We are. Maybe I like harmonizing.
That's beautiful.
It's sound.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we are trying to we are normalizing vulnerability. If we were outside the courthouse, we would be harmonizing. And people are attracted to harmony.
Dude, in harmony,
they are distracted by chaos and disharmony.
And in music, you need multiple people to harmonize. And sometimes you could be out of tune, and sometimes you need somebody else to help you get.
You got to hear what the note you're hearing, and it makes you adjust your note.
There's different quadrants.
So me next to you, next to Gabriela, next to Hector, next to Juli, next to all the people, right? Yep. That's where the harmony comes from. That's where we all get to show this is what vulnerability looks like.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Gabriela gets to, like, what I love about our conversation is like, and I didn't even think about this. So if you're still listening, Gabriela, you can literally go tell somebody like when you feel like you feel safe enough with them, like, hey, I want you to watch this episode I was on. You could just scrub to, it's a 3-hour show. Like, just go scrub to our conversation and say, hey, watch this. This is what I'm looking for in a relationship.
And we'll have the chapter marker, so
you know what I'm saying.
Straight to it.
And she could talk to if she talks to a guy, she could be like, if you don't show up like this dude, if she talks to another pastor, if you don't show up like this guy shows up for me, then I don't want it. Like, watch that first before we even have our session.
That's great.
If my mind, body, and soul can't be safe with you, I'm not coming to no session with you. And go home to your wife, perv.
Please stop freaking.
How about that?
Amen.
I don't know why I had to say it like that, but
it's okay. I think it was a good shame tactic. It was
Tarika?
really good. Oh yeah, she's ready, brother.
Let's get it.
Oh, the Lord is good.
Tarika, so glad to meet you. Hi, Tarika.
Hello.
How you doing, Jersey girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Okay. It was very hard for me.
It's okay. Thank you for letting me see you today.
No problem. Thank you for piggybacking on what you guys were just saying. Doing what you guys do every day, first and foremost. I've been going back and forth in my head about counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what you guys do is so much more than that. Because with counseling, you get the same person every time. But with you guys and going live every day and allowing us to call in, it allows us to see that there really are other people going through what we're going through.
For sure.
Because going through my season, I'm like, Lord, I just felt all alone. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And you guys allowed me to see that I'm not alone. And every day, every call, there's something that I take away from it that helps me. So I want to thank all of you guys
We're
first and
so
foremost
grateful.
for that.
We're so grateful. Thank you.
Excuse my shaky voice. I'm so nervous.
No, take your time.
I'm
Take your
very
time.
shy. I don't like talking in front of people. So this is like a huge thing.
Oh yeah, you're being very brave right now.
So first, let me say, I guess I'm looking for guidance.
Okay.
Um, to give you a little backstory, there's a whole lot of backstory. As a child, I was sexually abused
Okay.
by my grandmother's husband,
Okay.
who was not my grandfather biologically.
Understood.
Um, Once I told that, I wasn't told that it wasn't true, like you're lying, but I was still made to go visit my grandma where this man lived. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
it's like, you're not telling me that I'm lying to you, but you make me feel like I'm lying to you.
Right. Absolutely. How old were you
Um,
when you disclosed it?
like late elementary school, early middle school.
So like between 11 and
Like,
13?
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Wow.
Um, so moving on from that, I got pregnant with my first son at 17.
Okay.
I had him at 18. I graduated high school. The man that I told his dad that I was pregnant, he completely went MIA. Till this day,
Wow.
I have not laid eyes on this man. I have not spoken to this man. My son just turned 20 in December of 2024.
Okay.
So I thank God for my family because they were the backbone in helping me get through that. Because 17 and 18 years old, being pregnant, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what to expect.
Yep.
And then to have him be absent, they filled the gap in more ways than one.
Yep.
Fast forward a few more years, I get involved in an abusive relationship. I lived in that for 3 years. When I say this man dragged me through the mud, he dragged my name through the mud. I got evicted out of 3 apartments. I was locked out of apartments. There were times he wouldn't come home. I'm walking with my son and his son to go get food. There was nights that I wouldn't eat just so that they could eat. Um, to this day, I don't know why I went back. Because I went back. I would leave and I would go back, and I would leave and I would go back. Until he's completely isolated me from my family. He moved me to Tyler. In his grandpa's house, when we moved there, nobody had lived there for years. We had to clean it. It was just a big mess. Literally during that time, he was still being abusive, and when I say abusive, physically, mentally, verbally. I'm 5'6", weighed 130 pounds. He's like 6'2", 200 pounds, and would like literally hit me if I was a man. In front of our sons. Until what broke the ice for me and finally made me leave was, and it was so weird. And to this day, I realized how God was in my life at that time because, like I said, He had completely isolated me. My family didn't see my son, but for whatever reason, this particular week, my mom had my son. I cannot tell you why my mom had my son. And so the day before we come back to Dallas to get him, he came home mad. He abused me. He literally put a gun to my head and cocked it Like he made me lay down and put a pillow on the back of my head, and I could feel the gun. And all I kept thinking was, he's gonna kill me, and no one will ever find me because my mom didn't. No one knew where that I was in Tyler. And all I could think about was my son, and it was like I knew that I wasn't gonna die. It was like I was gonna live from the gunshot wound, but I would die from being there, left there. And so later that night, I didn't sleep. I had to lay with him all night. The next morning, I called my mom and I said, when I get there to get my son, I'm not coming back. So I get to Dallas to get my son. God again showing up because my dad and my aunt were there. They had no idea that I was coming and that I was staying from the relationship. So I went inside. My mom and my dad went outside to tell him, like, she's not coming out. You can leave her alone. Don't ever try to contact her. So he stalks me, of course. I call the police. Of course, I have to make record of so many stalking attempts before I can do a restraining order. Um, my son started school. And again, God in my life, one of my classmates was my son's kindergarten teacher.
What are the
And I was
chances?
so nervous about him starting school because I'm like, he's stalking me. Like, I don't want him to go to the school. So the fact that she was a classmate, I felt like I was able to share with her, be on high alert. So literally the first day of school, he shows up. I have to go to the office. They call the police. So fast forward, like I said, I stay in that relationship. I stayed there for 3 years. He finally leaves me alone, and I didn't know why. Um, so fast forward a few years from there, I meet my husband, who I have now been married to for 12 years. Um, that was hard for me at first because I had a lot of baggage from the abusive relationship.
Of course.
And for a year, I told my husband no, like we couldn't even go on a date. It was like, no, 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 no. Until one day I just said yes. And even in the beginning of our relationship, I still carried a lot of the baggage. But it was like on our wedding day, I literally bawled like I was at a funeral. And it was like that was the moment that I was able to release all of my baggage. Like I felt safe. Like, thank you, God. Like, this is it. So in this relationship for 12 years, he came in with 2 sons. I came in with one. Of his 2 sons, one is not biologically his. He's just the dad as he is to mine.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 2 together,
Okay.
so that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout our relationship, early on, he cheated. I forgave. I felt like we moved past it. Um, mm, Mind you, we have all 5 of our kids. Um, he's very present in the home,
Mm-hmm.
but also kind of absent just because we own our own business. We provide different services to the Metroplex. So he's out of the home, he's present, but he's absent.
Mm-hmm.
He got into some trouble, was incarcerated for 3 years. In the 12 years of our relationship, I can count on one hand how many times there has been an issue as far as another female is concerned. I cheated when he was incarcerated. Does that make it okay? No. But it's like God says, don't keep tallies, but it's like, okay, God, but and so where I'm at now, during the 3 years of his incarceration, I still had all 5 of our kids. my stepson's mom, I would meet her. I met her twice in Mississippi for her to get them. Um, Long story short, completely fulfilling my duties as a wife and as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he comes home. It comes out that I was unfaithful. So it's like ever since then, it's like I'm constantly like trying to regain the ground that I lost in doing what I did. But in finding out and doing that, he has been unfaithful.
Again, since he got out?
Yes.
Okay.
He talks to women on the phone. He's his behavior is very disrespectful, violently. Social media. He can go have drinks with a woman. So for the longest, I've known about these things, but I never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
I never addressed it. Until it started to wear on me. It was literally fixing to break me. I'm literally about to lose my mind. It causing me to have panic attacks to where I had to go to the hospital for my heart because I have AFib, which with panic attacks, that doesn't help
It's
AFib
no
at all.
good. Yes, no good.
So once I realized this is taking a toll on my health, taking a toll on my relationship with my children, because all I want to do is stay locked in my room. Um, I went back and forth with God. God, I want to have this conversation with him. But how do I have this conversation with him? Because communication for us is hard because he's not a very good communicator. Like, I want to sit down, I want to talk about it, I want to figure out what the problem is, I want to solve the problem, I don't want to have the problem again.
Can I just pause and say he is a good communicator. He just don't want to talk to you.
Yes.
I just need that to be said. That nigga can talk. He's just choosing not to talk to you because he's in these other women's DMs. He can communicate with them. He going out socializing, having drinks. He can talk to them.
Right.
So he's just
And
not bringing it back to where he needs to. Please continue. I'm sorry. I'm pissed, but go ahead.
You're fine. And so I finally built up the courage to have this conversation with him. Like I told him, we have 5 kids. We can't have this conversation at home.
For sure.
So can we go for a night or, a night drive?
Yeah.
So, in beginning the conversation, he always tells me that my tone or my deliverance is a problem. So I made it very clear that it was a hard conversation for me to have, that I had been going back and forth for a long time trying to figure out how to have the conversation. Please don't hold me to my tone or, all of the things that you say bother you in my communication. Don't hold those against me because I don't know how to have this conversation. So the words are
You
just
just
gonna
need
be
to let
coming
it out.
out.
That's right. You just need to verbally vomit.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I start talking to him and basically I have to specifically tell him what he did
Mm-hmm.
because it began, you were going to lie. Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, what do you think that I'm doing? And I'm like, okay, so you're going to play me like for that. Like, I have to specifically tell you what you're doing. So that's what you want me to do. Okay. Da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then at that point, of course, here comes the defensive mechanism. So now he's completely shut down and he's not saying anything. Long story short, that was a conversation I had with myself. Few days go by, something else transpires. This particular day, my son was home. One of my sons was homesick from school, and I tried to revisit the conversation because it wasn't complete. We didn't accomplish anything.
Right.
And again, we can't communicate. So it blows up and turns into this big thing. And the one thing that I never do and I hate to do is let our kids hear us having a shouting match.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said something along the lines of, it's always about me because I'm going through spiritual warfare. I grew up in church. Like I'm constantly on my knees, you know. I know how to beat the devil.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, but I'm having a hard time beating him in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I mentioned to him, like, I'm going through sleep paralysis, like I'm having bad dreams, like where I'm walking through my house and like I see like dark shadowy figures behind me, and I know that it's the enemy. And I go to church one Sunday, a lady who knows nothing about my story tells me that I have to let go or that it's going to take me out.
Mm-hmm.
So instantly, even though I don't want to take that as my marriage, that's what it shouted to me because my marriage is causing me to have panic attacks. It's causing me to go to the emergency room because of my heart. Um, and so past all of that, currently, um, he asked what caused me to go through his phone. And I told him I wanted to know if my intuitions were right. Like I'm very discerning. Like God has given me like we all have it, but I'm very in tune with it.
Mm-hmm.
And my woman's intuition is the radar is just off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I wanted to know if I was right, if what I was thinking was correct,
Mm-hmm.
or am I holding you, just carrying my baggage and putting it on you?
Right.
And so, um, of course, that was the problem. Why are you going through my phone? I'm like, we've been married 12 years. Like, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. You can miss me with that. Like, if you want to be mad about me going through your phone, be mad.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you wouldn't be mad if there was nothing in the phone.
That part. Okay.
And it's always, my energy is always off. My energy, my energy, my energy. So I told him, my energy is off because of everything that I know, because of what you're doing. And you're trying to fool me by thinking that you're not doing anything. Like, I know that you're texting this girl and saying you look good in that dress tonight, or damn, I'm sorry, that dress looks good on you. And then when you come home, you want me to be, oh, hey, baby, I missed you. I can't. I can't.
Yeah. What type of energy would this man expect?
Exactly. So the problem is there's no accountability. There's no apology. Like even since the conversation, there's nothing. Um, he preaches to my sons, everything is a decision. When you make a decision, stand on it, take accountability for it, and then stand on it. So it's like, why doesn't that apply to you? When people call you, you can tell them, you can be the greatest counselor in their problem or whatever it is that's going on in their relationship and advise them. But why don't you use that for our marriage, for your marriage? So, like, right now, I feel like it's kind of wanting my cake and eating it too, or whatever the phrase is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the betterment of myself, I completely surrendered everything to God, literally on my face in my room,
Mm-hmm.
and just surrendered and just put him and his all of that to the side and put myself in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Because something someone said one day on your last week, I believe, is it says sometimes God will shake our tree.
Facts.
And when he said that, it was like that's what it was, because you were so close to me, and our relationship was so good, but going through what I went through in my marriage, I've separated myself a little bit. There's some distance that was put in between me and God.
Mm-hmm.
So if to me, he shook my tree to say, come back.
Mm-hmm.
what you're looking for in him is in me. Focus on you, and everything else will just, like, that's just where I am.
Okay.
I'm focused on me. I've just started back working a new job. I've been on it probably a month,
Okay.
going on a month. So it's just like aligned financially,
Mm-hmm.
so that if this doesn't work, and I made it very clear to him, you either change or this doesn't work. Like, and he changed his password on his phone.
Well, at least you changed something.
That part. But that doesn't, all that tells me is that you still have something to hide.
For sure.
Like, because why change the password if
Yeah.
you were going to stop the behavior?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just to the point now, it's like, it's like I'm praying and asking God, like, for guidance and what to do. And it's like I'll see something or I'll hear something, like giving me the hint to separate or to leave, because I do know that the only adultery is the okay for divorce. But then I see things that are like fight, don't give up, pray. And so it's kind of confusing, I guess. And that's been my prayer, is like, God, make it clear, because I'm getting both. But then at the same time, it's just like I hear God saying, how much more clear can I make it?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So yeah, I mean, I guess if it was up to him, he would say that he's not doing what he used to do. I'm supposed to believe that he's changed. And I feel like right now I'm just kind of going with emotions because I'm focused on myself.
Okay. I'm proud of you for doing so. Very proud of you for doing so. All right. I want to, there's so much I could say. Tarika, I'm holding a lot of anger on your behalf, not just because of what you're going through in the marriage with this man now, but the domestic violence that you survived in the previous relationship. And you're experiencing it in a different way. It's just not physical anymore, right? It's emotional, and silence is as abusive as yelling. They're equally abusive. And so people think, oh, if a person's yelling and shouting all the time, that's being verbally abusive. To not verbally communicate is abusive as well. So it sounds like you've been rocking with me for some time, so you know how I'm as a man, I have a problem with a man who can't man up. It's the best way I can put it. I want to do a role play. This may seem so left field. I want to do a role play. I want you to be your husband. I'm going to be you. And I'm only going to ask you one question. And I want you to answer as realistically, hypothetically, as you think he would answer. And this is going to tell both you and I everything that we need to know, okay? So give your husband a name that's not his name, please. John, okay. Hey, John, would now be a bad time for us to have a quick conversation?
No, why? What's up?
I want to ask you one question. I know that the last few times that we've tried to have a conversation, it blew up into an argument, shout and match. It's not something I'm interested in. I know you're not interested in it. I'm well aware that you think my energy is always off, that you feel like, my vibe is off, that I'm always negative, that I'm always nagging you, that I'm always checking on you, that I'm never acknowledging the progress that you made. I've been praying. I don't want that to scare you. I've been praying and I've been thinking about our relationship, and I just want to ask you one question. I think it's a simple question. I hope you think it's a simple question to answer. And I just want your honest thought. And that question, your answer to that question is basically going to tell me everything that I need to know.
Okay. What's the question?
My question is, John, my husband of 12 years, do you think it's impossible for us to have the best marriage on earth?
Do I think that it's possible?
No, do you think it's impossible for you and I, even through all the stuff we've been through, your infidelities with an S, my infidelity, don't say that though, that's petty. That was just me being petty right now. Your infidelities, my infidelity, like all the stuff we've gone through, the ups and downs of our relationship over the last 12 years, do you think it would be impossible for you and I to have the best marriage on earth?
No.
You don't think it would be impossible?
No.
Oh my God, John, you have no idea how happy I am to hear you say that. What do you think it would take for us to have that?
I need you to be consistent with your love language. I need you to tap into your feminine. That's a hard word for me. It's kind of too many.
Femininity?
Yes.
Yeah, that word.
Yeah, that word. I need you to tap into that and let go of your. I'm too masculine. I'm too hard.
Those are the only two things that you think it would take for us to have the best marriage on earth?
Those are my issues with you. Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I wasn't talking about our issues. I was talking about like the marriage as a whole. Like, what would it take for us to have like the best marriage on earth? Because it sounds like you just brought up two issues that I can easily work on. But do you think those would be the only two issues that I need to change, and then we would have the best marriage on earth? Like you would stop DMing other chicks?
I want to step out of my role play right quick.
Okay, all right.
Because I mean, it's hard for me to do that because he's so like there's really like no responses. It just be like
Yeah, and so this is what I'm getting at. This is why, and
that's
again,
what,
I'm
that's what you want.
right.
Like,
Yeah. And that's what I'm getting at. And there's a lot of, and I gotta admit, I'm not really doing this role play justice because I want to smack this nigga. So there's no disrespect to this man. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just need bro to snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? And like own his side. So to even in the role play for the response to be, here's what you need to do, and then we would have the best marriage on earth. That's wild. That is.
and that's part of why we can't communicate because it's to the point like I don't even try, which is why it was so hard for me to have that particular conversation.
Yep.
Because they always end up with the finger being pointed at me.
Yep.
I'm the one in tears. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I've been a perfect wife.
No, I didn't hear you say none of that. You never said that.
You know, there are times where he carried the weight financially, that I could have helped. There's things that have went on,
He was just being a husband? Sorry. He was just being a husband?
That part. That part.
Because I think bro would need a job even if he was single, right? So I'm just making sure he. All right, just wanted to make sure we didn't put a cape on the dude for going to work.
Right. And that's kind of how it is. It's like, okay, I do this, da, 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 da. But to me, it's like, okay, but that's what you're supposed to do. And I do the same thing. Like, I fulfill all of my duties as a wife. Like I said, I have two that are not mine, but they are mine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I was taking care of their mom didn't have them and you were gone.
Yep.
Like, I was taking care of them.
Right.
I took them to school. They started school with, you know what I mean? With me. Like,
for sure.
all of that. Mom didn't send nothing here financially. She never does. You know what I mean? But literally, since we've gotten together, and don't get me wrong, he has done the same thing with my son. But I just feel like I know that I'm sorry, fault or whatever, that I'm a damn good woman.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick.
Because you are. You are. So here's what I want to submit to you to do, and please pray through it before you actually do it. I want you to ask him that one question in the same way. It needs to be the exact same way. Do you think it is impossible for us to have the best marriage on earth? I want you to wait for bro's answer. It's because it's a yes or no answer. If the answer is yes, I think it's impossible. Bye. Right? If the answer is no, hey, that makes me so happy. I'm not saying we're going to fix this in a day, but that's what I want to work towards. And I know it's going to take work on both sides. I don't even need answers today, solutions today of how, but that answer, the fact that you don't think it's impossible for us to have the best marriage on earth, gives me hope. And that's what I want to cling to. That's what I want to move forward with. But ask that question. I asked. I had a dear family member of mine that her and her husband were on the brink of divorce. She had 25 questions she wanted to ask him. She said, "I need an answer to 25." I said, "That's too many questions." Number one. I said, "Number two, you're going to ask him one question," and it was this question. She said, "Do you think it's impossible for us to have the best marriage on earth?" And he said, "Yes." And they got divorced. Right. No further questions, Your Honor. Right? You have made your decision. I have to be mature enough to accept the decision that you are making. And if this man tells y'all's children, "Hey, to be a man means you got to make a decision. When you make a decision, you got to live with the decision." All right, bro. I'm calling you on that. Not in a combative way, not in a confrontational way, not in a manipulative way, not in a ultimatum way, right? It's not like if you don't change, I'm out. Nope. I just got one question to ask you. And based on the way you answer this question, I will respect your answer. It'll tell me everything I need to know.
Right.
So that's the question that you need to ask. That's going to cut straight to the chase. And you're going to be able to know what to do from there.
I agree. I feel like, of course, when trust is broken, of course, that's the issue is, I don't know what, you know what I mean? Like, how do I know that this moment is true?
For sure.
Or
yeah.
How do I know that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know that moment is true by all the actions that take place after it. Like, I don't listen. I listen more to what people do than what they say.
And that's my thing. He is like the biggest action person. Like, he will tell you, I'm big on action. Like, action speaks louder than words. Action, action, action. And so I'm like, so how do you not feel like your actions are not giving me, I don't care about you. I don't have
absolutely.
respect.
How else are you supposed to interpret the actions that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you not in my DMs, right? You ain't going, you ain't trying to go out with me for drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's what I told him. I'm like, you compliment these women and you send them things that you don't send to your wife.
Yeah. Child. Okay. I love you, sissy.
I love y'all.
Thank you so much for calling in. Let me know what the response is to that question. And I'm praying for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I told my sister, I was like, he's going to tell me, pack and go. I was like,
Listen, I'm close, but I think that question will get you. I believe that question is going to give you the question and the answer and the subsequent actions are going to give you everything you need to know.
Right, and I received that, and even with that, like I receive it is because to me it's like confirmation. Like my biggest thing is not to act in my emotion.
Yep, absolutely.
Like not to pick up and dip out right now.
That's
so,
right.
Like, the fact that you were kind of telling me that same thing confirms that okay, like I'm doing the right thing.
You are.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna let you guys know. Cause I know y'all are in the last 5 minutes.
No worries.
Thank y'all so much.
We love you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Woo! La Jesus.
Bomba clap.
Me don't care about these men, man. Me don't care about these men, man.
Bomba clap.
I need these men. Listen, man. Hey, man.
You want it?
Hey, yo, will y'all? I need all of my sisters. Will y'all please send this to the man that you love? Send this episode specifically. Send it to the men that you love. Send it to your husbands. Send it to your fathers. Send it to your brothers. Send it to your cousins. Send it to your coworkers. Send it to your friends. Send it to your exes. They might not watch it. They might watch it. I don't know. Listen. Biblical manhood is not hard. It's just different. It is not ego driven. It is Holy Spirit driven. And like biblical manhood is the cheat code for peace and stability, not only within a man, but within his family and his friendship unit. The biblical man brings peace to himself, his family, and his friends. That dude does not have to worry about drama the way other people do. Why? Because he is fully submitted to being led by the Holy Spirit, and the fruit of the Holy Spirit is going to bring him peace and patience and long suffering and self-control and all the things that is the antithesis of getting in somebody's DMs and trying to get in somebody's drawers. Let me give it to you.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Before I leave. Okay?
Tim, thanks for making my life boring. I super appreciate it.
Bruh.
There's just so much less drama in my life because I stopped effing lying.
Bro.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to say thank you.
I'm so proud of you. All right, so peep game. This is Galatians chapter number 5, starting at the 13th verse. I got 3 minutes. Brothers and sisters, you were called to freedom. Only do not let your freedom become an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. For the whole Torah can be summed up in a single saying: love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, watch out that you are not destroyed by one another. But I say, walk by the Ruach, and you will not carry out the desires of the flesh. For the flesh sets its desire against the Ruach, but the Ruach sets its desire against the flesh. For these are in opposition to one another, so that you cannot do what you want. But if you are led by the Ruach, you are not under law. You are not under law. Now the deeds of the flesh are clear: sexual immorality, impurity, indecency, idolatry, witchcraft, hostility, strife, jealousy, rage, selfish ambition, dissension, factions, envy, drunkenness, carousing, and things like these. It's not a comprehensive list. There's more, right? I am warning you, just as I warned you before, that those who do such things will not inherit God's kingdom. But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law. Now those who belong to Messiah have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live by Ruach, let us also walk by the Ruach. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. So if you want to know if anybody's walking in the Spirit, they need to be checking these boxes: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If they don't have that, then they're walking in the flesh. Bottom line. Show me somebody that's not kind, I'll show you somebody that's not walking in the Spirit.
Amen.
Show me somebody that has no patience, I'll show you somebody that's not walking in the Spirit. Show me somebody that's not portraying and exhibiting love, I'll show you somebody that's not walking in the Spirit. Show me somebody that's not gentle, I'll show you somebody that's not walking in the Spirit. It's not hard. It's not hard.
Very good.
It's not hard.
Don't be a ripoff.
Don't be.
It's not hard.
Yeah, no.
No es difícil.
Qué blessing.
No difícil.
Lock in, brother. Lock in.
No difícil. No difícil. Es muy fácil.
Please lock in.
Es muy, muy fácil. Es no difícil. Es muy fácil. Entonces, like, sé bueno. Like, es correcto?
Sí.
Like, be good.
Be good.
Be good. Sé bueno.
Ser bueno.
Ser bueno.
Yeah,
Ser bueno.
it's
Ser bueno.
it's the vibes.
No pasa nada.
And it takes every day. You got to do it every day.
Cada día, cada día, cada día, cada día, cada día.
Claro.
Espíritu Santo es no carnal. Es correcto carnal.
Carnal is like brother. You're talking about flesh?
Flesh.
Yeah.
La carne?
La carne.
Yeah, carne.
Sí,
yeah,
sí,
carne
sí.
is
It would be like
yeah,
the flesh.
Yeah.
Dios mío.
Carne asada.
Carne asada con hambre.
Sí, 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 sí. Listen, y'all. It is 12 noon straight up.
Like that thing on the way out,
Okay?
too.
Like the dang thing.
Like that thing as we leave this thing.
Yeah.
Like that thing as we leave this thing. 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 I'm Tim Ross. That's Hector Carrero. That's Darius Santiago. Bye. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.